different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lots of time. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a Fond du Lac child abductor on the run.
And I'm Toya Washington in for Julia Fellow. The Trump administration blocks immigrant programs.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound on 94. We've got some backups coming out of the stadium interchange all the way to Hawley Road. Other than that, we really don't have anything major going on. Westbound 94 right about at 70th Street. We've got an incident, which usually means that there's a violator pulled over. So you might see a squad with a car off on the left shoulder. So just be careful. Other than that, looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory is in effect until 6 o'clock tonight for most of southeast Wisconsin. An evening sprinkle tonight, maybe a flurry, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, cloudy, a high of 43. It's currently 39. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Fond du Lac police are looking for a registered sex offender. Chad Mertz cut off his GPS monitoring system this afternoon and left his home near Division Street and Military Road in Fond du Lac. He was convicted of child abduction in 2002. Martz drives a red 2019 Dodge Grand Caravan. Fond du Lac police ask that anyone who encounters Mertz or his vehicle call 911 immediately.
One person is dead and 6 others, including children, are hurt after a crash in Beaver Dam. It happened at around 4:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon near County Roads A and B in Dodge County. A driver in a pickup truck blew through a stop sign and was hit going through that intersection there. A 30-year-old man from Tennessee who was in that pickup truck was ejected and died at the scene. The 32-year-old driver, also from Tennessee, is being treated for serious injuries and was arrested for OWI. The driver, a passenger, and 3 children in the other vehicle were also taken to area hospitals.
An armed man is on the loose after threatening a Target employee. Oconomowoc police are searching for 26-year-old Keon Hawthorne. He's accused of threatening a fellow employee at the Target Distribution Center early Sunday morning. Hawthorne pointed a gun at the other employee before fleeing. No one was injured and no shots were fired.
Will Milwaukee take the title of Windy City from Chicago? Well, it might, with our wind advisory lasting until 6 p.m. today. TMJ meteorologist Tyler Moore tells WTMJ the bright side to the windy conditions.
Wind strongest today. It will be windy through Thursday, but at least the wind is out of the west and southwest, so it does bring in a lot of 30s and 40s.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up in a few minutes.
A new Chinese artificial intelligence model is sending ripple effects across Silicon Valley, Washington, D.C., and Wall Street. ABC's Mike Dabuski.
R1 is a new AI model that reportedly can match or outperform equivalent models from firms like OpenAI. Wedbush Securities' Dan Ives says it comes from a company called DeepSeek.
DeepSeek is a Chinese AI research lab.
The company says they were able to develop it for less than $6 million.
The claims should be clearly looked into, given it's China. I'd be shocked if it's $6 million.
Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Coming up, preventing food waste and helping the hungry.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:04.
I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:06.
15% of waste generated in southeast Wisconsin comes from food. What is Milwaukee doing to change that?
At local food pantry Nourish MKE, 1/3 of their supply is food recovered from local grocers.
We have a team of rescue volunteer drivers who go out and do pickups at these locations and then drop them off at our food pantries.
Executive Director Valerie McMillan tells WTMJ a citywide pilot project is in the works called Feed MKE.
Helping people build up capacity in the food waste realm, things like composting.
Coming soon, an announcement of mini grants to boost food recovery and composting efforts at more local organizations. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. The game is February 9th in New Orleans. The Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Doc Rivers Bucs 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8. And we're losing anywhere, but I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
The Jazz have just 10 wins. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 3:07.
January. I know. Not the greatest always, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you've got the January blues, brighten up your Monday and Tuesday with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. Enjoy any steak, seafood, pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, the steak and lobster, anything on the menu. You got it. Your second dinner is always free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks are buy one, get one free. I think it's the best part of the meal. Sip on an old-fashioned. Check out the Manhattan, bourbon, 100 wines, ice-cold beer out of the tap. The Fox and Hounds in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest is truly a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up with thousands of lights, the Christmas characters. It's a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces keep you warm on a cold January night. Nice and cozy. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Toya Washington.
All right, happy Monday. Toya, it's so good to have you here.
It's great to be back here.
How was the weekend?
It was good. It was quick. It was busy. I was asked, well, how was your weekend? And I was like, wait, what did I do? It went too fast.
And it's done already.
It's
gone
done already. It's gone. It's Monday.
Hey, let's get to it. Some of the stories that we are tracking on this Monday.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right, let's start with this story. It's about COVID. It's about the pandemic. It's about the CIA. So the Central Intelligence Agency has assessed that the COVID-19 pandemic is more likely to have emerged from a lab than from nature. Okay, you're probably thinking, what's the big deal? Haven't we always kind of said that it maybe came from a Chinese lab? Well, a lot of other agencies have said they believe that, but until this weekend, the CIA, who has been looking into this, has not concluded that. The agency for years said that it was a result of either a lab incident or originated in nature. But during the final weeks of the Biden administration, the former CIA director said, we need to make a determination because the pandemic's historical significance is at stake here. And so the CIA has come out and said, yeah, we think it began in a Chinese lab. The Chinese embassy says that they don't buy that. It's misleading. There's no substantial evidence. And Beijing says that a laboratory leak likely caused the pandemic, have no credibility, so they are not buying it at all. All right, what's the second thing?
All right, second one. We were just talking about this, enjoying Wisconsin winters. You're outdoor? You don't?
It hurts.
Okay. It does. And I try to explain to people, yes, like I know I grew up in Minnesota where it's, people think it's colder, and it is. But every year this gets harder and harder.
I agree.
But for those who do enjoy being outdoors and love fishing, one of Wisconsin's cities is in the top for best ice fishing places in the country.
Really? One of our places?
Yes, one of our, Rhinelander.
Oh,
yes.
Northwoods.
So that is ranked 5th among the top 10 spots nationally. It's been dubbed the ice fishing capital of the world, according to the Oneida County website. So they in their mind, they're number one, but it is ranked 5th nationally. So one of the factors that they take into consideration as far as why is it such an awesome place to fish is because it's all about wintertime there. Angling is one of the most popular pastimes citywide. Yep. There's also other things to do outside of fishing. So it's just a winter wonderland overall. And one of the things that I do love a good fish fry. So when I look at the list of fish that you can get out of the lake here, Boom Lake offers walleye, northern pike, bluegill, and other panfish. So that's why, because there is a nice variety there. So
nice.
Yes.
Good for us. Number 5. All right, we'll take that. Hey, the third thing on the list, if you text the word watch right now to 855-616-1620, you can see a picture of what we're talking about. It is Taylor Swift. I want you to check out this picture. Text the word watch. All right, Toya, so this is Taylor Swift going into yesterday's Chiefs game, the football playoff game. Look at her outfit. It's Louis Vuitton from head to toes.
Okay.
Do you know how much this outfit that she's rocking cost her?
I am not. I'm a thrifter, so I have no idea.
$10,000. I would have thought maybe more, right? But it's $10,000. Listen, as you look at the picture, this is how it breaks down. That black and gold Louis Vuitton monogrammed jacquard jacket, that's $5,000.
Okay.
Right there.
All right.
The chain wallet that she's carrying, that's $2,800.
Okay.
Star Trail ankle boots, $1,800.
Oh my God, I'd be afraid to walk on them.
Yeah, this is the one that got me though. Look at that black beanie. That black beanie cap she's wearing, little winter hat, $550.
It better do my hair for me for that amount of money, like on a daily basis for an entire year. An entire year.
I think you're right. And she completed the outfit with a pleated mini skirt and a bold splash of color with those red tights. By the way, the Chiefs won. They are going to their 3rd Super Bowl in a row. They're going for a 3rd Super Bowl win in a row. It is 3:13 at WTMJ. Coming up next, week 1 of Donald Trump is in the books. ABC's Steve Roberts, a political analyst, is with us to take us inside what his key takeaways are after 1 week of President Trump. That's up next on WTMJ.
Football is like rock and roll. It's just and basketball is like jazz. You're kind of.
Brent sends it left of the lane to Portis. Lillard sends it to the corner.
It's in the pocket. It's like
driving inside, hands it to Jackson. Catch and shoot three. Torian Prince rips the cords.
The Bucks head out to Utah to take on the Jazz. Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here. I've got a really cool trip coming up. I'd love for you to be with us. A bunch of listeners and I are going to Southeast Asia. This is a beautiful trip. It's in October. It is Vietnam. It's Thailand. It's Cambodia and Laos. Those jungle-shrouded temples you see like Angkor Wat, that's where we're going. The beaches of Thailand, the history of Vietnam. It's incredible. I'm super jazzed. I'd like to get you information. I've got beautiful brochures. It includes a detailed itinerary, all the color pictures. We stay in top-tier hotels with Colette. That's the company we travel with. Let me send you the information. You've heard me talking about this the past couple of weeks. The trip is filling up. I'd love to get you the information on the Vietnamese boat rides, the Mekong Delta, the energy of Ho Chi Minh City, a tuk-tuk through the streets of Laos. Here's the deal. Send me an email, and I'll send it to you right away. John@WTMJ.com. JOHN@WTMJ.com. You send me an email. I send you all the information. We've even got a free meeting coming up where you can come check it all out. John@WTMJ.com. JOHN@WTMJ.com. The Kingdoms of Southeast Asia in October. For more information, my email is john@WTMJ.com.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Traffic and weather, it's Debbie Loziga. How's our ride, Deb?
We're looking pretty good. Just a little bit tight leaving the stadium interchange on westbound 94 heading towards Mitchell Boulevard. A little heavy as well on southbound 43 from Fond du Lac Avenue heading towards the Marquette. But overall, everything is actually looking pretty good. No major incidents to worry about at the moment. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, maybe a sprinkle or a flurry, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, a high of 43. On Wednesday, partly cloudy, a high of 38. On Thursday, mostly sunny, mild, a high of 48. That is well above the average high for this time of year. Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 40 degrees. Week one of the second Donald Trump term is in the books. Steve Roberts, ABC News political analyst, is with us from the nation's capital to kind of help us break down what happened during the first 7 days. Hey, Steve, happy Monday. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, look, it's always a pleasure. I talk to my friends in Milwaukee, and I'll tell you what, a through line that you could see very clearly in a lot of what Donald Trump has done is trying to eliminate and dismantle a lot of the guardrails, a lot of the traditions, a lot of the mechanisms that can inhibit his use of power. You got to remember during his first term, he said quite blatantly, quite openly, I'm president, I can do whatever I want. Well, that's, of course, not true. But things are very different now in his second term. First of all, when he first came into office in 2016, he was an amateur. He didn't even think he was going to win. He spent not much time in getting ready to be president. But now he's had not only 4 years in office, but more years to plan. He now has a team of loyalists who have spent years working on strategies, which he never had in his first term. He's also more confident. The fact that he won the popular vote this time around, which he did not do 8 years ago, has emboldened him, I think. And also, let's remember, he's got a much more dispirited Democratic opposition, who really is down in the doldrums these days. And Kamala Harris has retired to California. Joe Biden has sunk into oblivion. And with Republicans in control of both houses of Congress, neither of the Democratic leaders has the same kind of national platform. And the next generation of leaders for the Democratic Party, younger governors, has not really emerged. You add all of that up, and his war on the bureaucracy, his war on any mechanism or individual who can inhibit his use of power. Very powerful here in this first week.
So Speaker Johnson is out saying, we're going to work together. We're going to make government more efficient. He says his caucus will follow pretty much what Donald Trump wants to do. But the Hegseth nominations seem to indicate that not all Republicans are going to go along all the time, and the majorities in those chambers that you referenced, Steve, are very, very thin. Are there enough Republicans not on board that some of his agenda could be disrupted?
Sure, but it hasn't happened yet. As you point out, look, let's be completely honest, even a lot of Republicans quailed at the thought of Pete Hegseth, had virtually no qualifications whatsoever to be Secretary of Defense, and yet only 3 Republicans had the guts to stand up to Trump. And with the help of J.D. Vance's vote as Vice President, he was named Secretary of Defense. So I think the first results are, look, most Republicans not only have a vested interest in Donald Trump succeeding, but most Republicans, even those who in an earlier time, including his own Vice President, J.D. Vance, people who were critical of him 8 years ago, 4 years ago, have gotten in line. There's very few Republicans left, very few, who are really anti-Trumpers. And that's part of the picture here. Now, as you point out, the majority and the margins are so thin, just a handful of votes in the Senate and the House. If there were to be a significant revolt, this could certainly hamper Trump's plans. But that hasn't happened yet. And I'm not sure it's going to happen because these Republicans, every Republican on Capitol Hill at some level has a common interest with Trump in Trump succeeding. So at least for now, even though the margins are thin and he can't be overconfident, he's managed to keep just about everybody on board for even these controversial nominations.
All right. Well, we're talking about losing the House and the Senate as far as the Democrats are concerned. I guess while we're moving forward and questioning, like, you have both entities now doing the bidding of the president. I guess, I've had these conversations where, like, going to the midterms, but having to explain to people, like, well, even if the midterms come around, what is undone or done is hard to do and undo. I guess, can you walk us through what that looks like 2 years from now?
Well, sure. Look, if the Democrats were to take over the House in 2 years, and that's entirely possible. I mean, first of all, the Republican margin is only a handful of seats. Secondly, history almost always, not quite always, but almost always, history shows that the out party gains seats in Congress in the first by-election after a presidential election because a president sweeps in some marginal seats and there's always some scars and always some disappointment. So part of the urgency behind Trump's blizzard of executive orders here is an understanding that he might only have a two-year window or even less, maybe an 18-month window to get done. But if the Democrats were to take control of the House, that would be almost entirely a negative power. They don't have the power to enact legislation. They don't have the power to undo what Trump has done. What they would have is a certain amount of power to stop other initiatives by the president, but their power would be almost entirely negative, not positive. And look, the one area where Trump can meet a significant challenge is in the federal courts. Look, he can go ahead and fire inspectors general, which he's done. He can oust and reassign key players in the Justice Department and the State Department, long-serving professionals who could pose an obstacle to his agendas. But the one part of the federal government he cannot control is the federal judiciary. Now, yes, he appointed over 200 federal judges, but once they're in office, they have a lifetime appointment. That inoculates them from the kinds of pressures and the kinds of retribution that Donald Trump is applying to every other part of the government. And you already have seen this in Seattle last week. A federal judge who, by the way, had been appointed by Ronald Reagan, a Republican. This federal judge declared Trump's executive order, which he tried to undo the constitutional principle birthright citizenship, the idea that any person born in America is automatically a citizen. He tried to undo that by executive order, and this judge called it blatantly unconstitutional and put in a restraining order. So if you think about the landscape here, certainly in the short term, before any midterm election, probably the single most powerful and important obstacle to Trump's agenda is going to be the federal courts.
ABC's Steve Roberts in Washington. Steve, thank you so much.
Anytime.
It's 324 WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A mixed day. The Dow was up 289 points on the day, but the NASDAQ plunged as AI fears seemed to unnerve Wall Street. The NASDAQ was off 612 points. The S&P was down 89 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You've been dealing with it forever, right? That ankle pain or the back or knee pain. It was a nuisance at first, and you kind of just put up with it. Now it's nearly debilitating for you, and it's affecting everything you do. It's time to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that pain that's always just kind of been there. You don't even remember how long it's been now. Call QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, long-term relief. It is possible. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for this life-changing regenerative treatment. No painkillers, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Patients right here in southeast Wisconsin. They have a location in Mequon and another in Greenfield. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. And if it's easier on your schedule, they're even open on Saturdays. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Hey, we're in the thick of old man winter's wrath right now, right? Well, we occasionally get a day or two where it starts to warm up. This week, actually, a couple days will be in the 40s. But that's just a tease. It's only January. So don't get too excited because we know we'll likely pay the price. More frigid days are going to come along. I mean, February's still in front of us. I want to tell you about my friends at independent family-owned Dave Drakamp Heating. The dead of winter is the worst time to feel that cold air seeping through the gaps in your hardwood floors, or you walk through warm and cold patches scattered across your house thanks to a furnace that's maybe struggling to keep up. If you're experiencing any of that, do yourself a big favor. Call the teams I trust at Dave Drakamp Heating today. Life throws enough curveballs, so it's always nice to have certain necessities that we can set and forget. That's my house. Thanks to Dave Drakamp Heating, our home comfort system is rock solid. Gives me peace of mind knowing that our home will always feel just right. Trust Dave Drakamp to take care of your family's comfort just as they have mine for so many years. They've been coming to our house about 12 years. Call today. Start by checking out the website, davedragkamp.com. Google it, davedragkamp.com.
Are you waiting for a miracle to feel financially secure in retirement? In a recent study, over a third of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Annex Wealth Management listens. Then, our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build a comprehensive plan that covers investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. We stress test it, run it through countless variables. Then, and only then, we present a framework for a financial plan tailored to your goals in retirement. And unlike our competitors, Annex doesn't have any products to push, no hidden hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that out there already. We're a fee-only fiduciary, required to act in your best interest at all times. More planning, fewer miracles. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Build confidence in your future with Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, Columbia tariffs averted.
And I'm Toya Washington in for Julia Fellow. Donations to save lives.
I'm Debbie Loziga, southbound on 41, backing up from just south of Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive, almost to Burleigh. Southbound 43, heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. The westbound side of 94 backing up from about 25th Street, taking you all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And the eastbound side's got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic. One right past 68th Street, and then another one coming out of the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory is in place until 6 o'clock for most of southeast Wisconsin. Evening sprinkles or flurries tonight, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, light snow far north, a high of 43 degrees. It's currently 39. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, crisis avoided. The U.S. and Colombia reach an agreement over deportation flights. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
After a back and forth with statements in social media, the White House said the Colombians had dropped their demands and had agreed to accept these planes coming into their country. And they say that this is now sending a message to countries all around the world. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that the president now expects all other nations to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States. Essentially, the White House made a very strong threat there, and the Colombians backed down.
Colombia initially refused to accept a U.S. military plane load of migrants, prompting President Trump to threaten 25% tariffs on Colombian exports like coffee, crude oil, and cut flowers.
Staff at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have been ordered to stop working with the UN's World Health Organization effective immediately. CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
In a memo sent to the agency's senior leaders, a CDC official said all agency staff who work with the WHO must immediately stop their collaborations and, quote, await further guidance. Experts say the order will hamper work on investigating and trying to stop outbreaks of Marburg virus and Mpox in Africa.
Last week, President Trump signed an executive order that sets out the process of withdrawing the U.S. from the WHO, but doing so requires the approval of Congress and a one-year notice.
The Northeast is bracing for aftershocks after a 3.8 magnitude earthquake centered near the Maine coast rattled houses in northern New England this morning. The United States Geological Survey reports the earthquake was centered about 6 miles southeast of York Harbor. That's in southern Maine. It was felt in states hundreds of miles away in Vermont and Connecticut.
A 29-year-old is recovering at a hospital after a shooting on Milwaukee's north side. This shooting happened at around 11:30 a.m. today near Darien and Green Tree. The suspect was arguing with the victim when the suspect fired shots into the victim's car. Police are still searching for that shooter.
Cold front over the greater Los Angeles area is bringing periods of rain to an area still dealing with wildfires. For one Wisconsin native now living in California, the rain is a blessing and a potential curse.
Pacific Palisades resident Caitlin Morale's home is still standing, but the threat of damage from a mudslide is increasing.
We have a lot of vegetation that is gone, and we're built into a hill, so there's obviously concern among our neighbors in the areas about what kind of slides we'll potentially encounter.
Morale and her family have been displaced for 3 weeks and only recently were able to visit their home.
Driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, it's nothing I could have been prepared for. It looked like traveling into a dystopian war zone.
Greg Natzik, WTMJ News.
Morale is uncertain if her family will ever be able to move back in.
Blood shortages during this National Blood Donation Month. About 3% of the eligible population donates blood, and only 1 in 5 donations come from communities of color. Dr. Arun Sheth of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News why diversity in donors matters.
The racial background of the donor does not have to match. However, scientific studies have found that some people require blood from donors with the same racial or ethnic background to reduce the risk of complications.
A single unit of blood can save 3 lives.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. In college basketball, Marquette moves up 1 spot to number 9 in the latest AP Top 25 rankings. The Badgers move up 1 spot to number 17. Badgers Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more. Super Bowl 59 will feel like deja vu with the Kansas City Chiefs facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are looking to go 3 in a row for Super Bowl wins. The game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. And the West Coast tour for the Bucks continues tonight against the Utah Jazz. Our coverage starts at 7:30. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:35.
You got to get to Built Right today. Vince Vitrano to tell you about Built Right's extended New Year's mattress sale. Ends Saturday. Their one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop, easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box, national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right also has the best value, selection, and experienced team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models, 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built Right saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Make sure to tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, just off of 894, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
We are joined by our guy, JKB, what's our letter? GKB content creator. He is Jason Smith. It's always good to see you on a Monday.
Oh, my goodness. Monday is my favorite day. I love it.
Really?
I try to tell people, TGIM.
He says that all the time walking around the building.
I'm trying to tell you.
Everybody's like, it's Monday. And he's like, yeah, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
We get to start the week off great.
All right, Snoop Dogg. Ooh. So Snoop Dogg was part of the Trump inauguration performance, right? There were a lot of people that were. And he was. He got kind of blown up. And now he's responding. Give us the background. What happened?
So essentially, this is what happened. Snoop Dogg, he performed at President Trump's inauguration party along with Nelly and a whole bunch of other celebrities. However, the problem comes in because 2016, when President Trump won, he had some crazy stuff to say. He was basically saying, listen, he was graphic names. I can't even say the words. Yeah. But he was saying he's trying to see which
person. I don't just careful.
Which person would actually go and perform at a Trump inauguration party, and he was saying he was going to roast them and he was going to be on them and get on them,
light them up,
light them up. That was his exact words.
Yes.
We fast forward nearly a decade later.
And here we are.
He's the one performing at Trump's inauguration party. So I don't think it has really anything to do with Trump. Well, it has something to do with Trump, obviously. However, I think it's more so about him not being a man of his own word.
But he got roasted too.
He got roasted, and and essentially he pushed back. and was like, hold on, no. I'm not about to use this opportunity to spread hate because all y'all already spreading hate. I'm going to spread this love. And the thing is, listen, his bank account is probably looking pretty good right now. So I don't know if he necessarily cares about all the opinions of the masses.
It's true.
You know, like, I mean, he's a businessman at the end of the day. And if Trump is saying, hey, listen, I got this money for you. You want to come perform at my inauguration? Maybe it was too much for him to turn down.
So here's the question. I don't know if we know the answer to this. Is he a Trump supporter or is he just an entrepreneur who saw an opportunity and so he performed?
I think the latter. Because, like, I mean, I don't know if he's a Trump supporter or not. He's come out, he had beef with Donald Trump at one point.
At one point, yes.
So I don't know what, I think it's more so of being an opportunist and understanding, okay, I can make some more money right
That's
here.
right. But here's where I was, and again, now I had this conversation. What he does with his time is, you could say, is none of our business. If you don't want to support him, you don't want to support him. I say the same thing when I go to a beach in Hawaii. If you don't like, don't look, right? Mm-hmm. You don't like, you don't look.
Without question.
Period. So from that perspective, and then I look at, okay, if that opportunity, I'm using air quotes, were to come my way and I was on what's the music show that he is now a judge on?
The Voice.
The
yes,
Voice.
He's on The Voice.
Yeah.
He has T-Mobile.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He just got done doing the Olympics. Like, it's one of those, like, how much more money do you need? And I guess that's where, for me personally, but that's my decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I do it because I want more money, or do I just sit down and be like, okay?
I think that's the question. People are wondering, did he sell out? Because, I mean, clearly you don't need the money. I mean, I don't assume Snoop Dogg need the money. So they saying, did he sell out? Did he go against his own morals, his own principles for a check?
It's interesting question about how much money do you need, because I talked to the CEO of a company about 3 years ago here in town that made $40 million that year. And he got in trouble because of something he put on social media about Joe Biden. And I said, at what point, how much money do you need?
Man.
You know what he said? You know who says that? Poor people. He said, rich people want more money. Like, is there ever really enough money?
And I can understand. That's why I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I think this is more so a business move than, I'm going against my morals. No. Like, I got grandkids. I want to make sure my great-great-great-grandkids are set for life. So why not take this easy check to stand up with a mic and rap?
See, and one of the things that and it's rare that I agree with Stephen A. Smith, because I just, But he does point out, let's see, to continue this explanation, Snoop Dogg's worth more than $100 million. Quote, he's got a youth football league. This brother's sending cats to college. This brother's sending cats to the NFL. We're just going to ignore that because he performed at the inauguration. Of course, things are not quite that simple in Snoop's case, but we can't deny that these performances don't indicate any political allegiances. So, again, he's weighing, what did he say? The bag between the benevolence.
Essentially. Is that wrong? I guess that's the question, and that's up to perception. That's up to personal perception if you believe that's wrong or right. I know for a fact Snoop doesn't care.
He don't.
I just think it's sad that, you know, it's a different world we live in, and Donald Trump's a much different man than most people who've been in that office. But that if you're Carrie Underwood or you're Snoop Dogg or you're Soulja Boy, that you're catching heat and getting criticized when you performed at a presidential inauguration. I mean, Carrie Underwood sang the national anthem and is getting destroyed on social media because she was part of the inauguration. I mean, it is a presidential inauguration. Would people have said this when Teddy Roosevelt got inaugurated? And oh my gosh,
Wait, you see the other side of it. Taylor Swift shows up at a football game and
wow,
people are, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, there's people who are like, why is she even there? And this is a betrayal, and so on.
She doesn't belong there.
She doesn't belong there.
So essentially, somebody is always going to have a problem with something.
I think Snoop Dogg's right. He was listening to some gospel music and talking about the love.
It's all about love. Let's spread the love.
It's easy to feel in love, though, when you got 100 million G's.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I know every time we check that bank account, he is smiling in love.
That's right. I'd be happy about everything.
I'll be happy
Nothing
too.
would make me have a bad day.
Come on now.
Not a darn thing.
He is Jason Smith. Always good when you're here, Jason.
Come
Thank
on.
you.
No, thank you guys.
It is 3:43 at WTMJ. Coming up next, this is going to be a good conversation. Medical students who we train here in the city of Milwaukee, what do we do to get them to stay and practice here in Milwaukee? How do we get more diverse doctors here in Milwaukee County? Medical College of Wisconsin has a pretty interesting program. We discuss it with them up next.
Tune in to What's on Tap this Thursday, January 30th for an exclusive interview featuring Jason Zabrowski from the Eleanor Room, your charming downtown Greendale neighborhood retreat with sophisticated small plates and shareables, touting top-shelf tequila, craft cocktails, and curated beer and wine. Your host, Sandy Max, will dive into all the Eleanor Room has to offer, including locally minded lunch, dinner, late-night lounging, weekend brunch, and Valentine's weekend specials. Make a reservation at eleanorroom.com.
John Mercure here for Town Bank. Town Bank is my bank. It's Wisconsin's bank. I know I'm a little bit biased, but they've got the best banking solutions. They've got the best customer service. They've got all that. I know what you're thinking. Somebody asked me this a couple of weeks ago. Customer service, what do I need that for? I don't go into the bank. There's going to come a time where you're going to have a question or you're going to need something, even if you do everything online. I do. I pay my bills online. I deposit online. I transfer money back and forth. I know. But there's going to come a time where you need to talk to somebody, and Town Bank makes talking to you their top priority. Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? They take a different approach to banking at Town Bank. They're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals, and they're right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, maybe a little account for the kids in your family, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, they have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Town Bank. Check them out at townbank.us. Different approach, better results. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Town Bank, part of the Wintrust family of community banks.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Abby Window.
Interest rates are high. Home values are up. Decided to stay in your home? Let's upgrade it with new windows and siding from Abbey Home. We can design fully customized new looks for your home with different profiles, styles, colors. The options are endless. Right now, get 20% off your entire project and qualify for the tax credits with our energy-efficient windows, doors, and siding. Go to myabbeyhome.com today. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Traffic and weather. Good afternoon, Debbie.
Good afternoon, John. We're actually looking pretty standard right now. Southbound 41 is going to be a bit tight from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43 slowing down just before Fond du Lac Avenue, all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94, you're seeing delays from about 30th Street all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, evening sprinkle. Going to still be breezy, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, cloudy, a high of 43. On Wednesday, breezy, a high of 38. Thursday, sunny and mild. Check out Thursday, a high of 48 degrees. Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 40 degrees.
It's shorts weather.
Ooh, I like where you're going with that. It's 3:47 at WTMJ. So doctor shortages have been plaguing parts of Milwaukee County, and a new Medical College of Wisconsin program is hoping to change all of that. Dr. Mike Levis is a professor of pediatric emergency medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin and the guy in charge of the Health Equity Scholars Program. Dr. Levis, thank you so much for making some time for us.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Hey, let's start with, before we get into the solution that Medical College is working through and how you're helping students, can you talk briefly about the shortage? Can you tell us, is this a big issue in our inner city?
Yeah, it's a big issue, not just in our inner city, but in rural communities and across the country. There are shortages of physician providers throughout the United States, and Wisconsin is no different. In the city of Milwaukee, There aren't enough primary care physicians. There aren't enough specialists to really meet the demand of the care that's needed. So, just this last year in emergency medicine, as an example, not every program across the country filled in emergency medicine. We've seen decreased amounts of physicians getting into pediatrics, getting into primary care, and it is a real issue for the future.
And I guess, can you speak to that shortage a little bit and how it affects the community at large when you don't, first of all, have enough people there, but how it affects those potential patients?
Yeah. So when there's not enough providers, then what you see is longer waits, decreased access to care. You can see delays in diagnosis, delays in preventive medicine. In the pediatric world, right, we tie primary care with vaccinations, with a lot of anticipatory guidance. And if there's not the opportunity for, youth to get those general checks, there can be long-term consequences. One example that I'll give you is in recent years, we were asked to, as the Department of Pediatrics, to help with sports physicals for some of the youth in Milwaukee Public Schools because they didn't have access to getting those sports physicals. The reason they weren't able to play sports was not because of grades, was not because of attendance. It was because they had a lack of access to primary care in those settings.
Dr. Mike Levis from the Medical College of Wisconsin is with us. One more question before we get into what you guys are doing for a group of students. Why is it important that people be able to see doctors of the same race? Is there any research or shows that there's a benefit that black people have access to a black doctor, Latinos can see a Latino doctor?
Yeah, so there's a lot of nuances in that, but there is some research. There is research out there that supports that having a provider that you're comfortable with, now whether that be same race, same gender, same age, similar background, same cultural background, that can lead to more trust in the patient and provider relationship. There's also really good evidence that shows that in terms of primary care, that trust really builds to having better outcomes in terms of health outcomes, right? Better blood pressure control, better adherence to medications, better follow-up rates. So I wouldn't say that the evidence is specific to race. It's more specific to having the options to pick and choose who your provider is so that you're very comfortable with the advice you're getting.
I would agree with that. As a female, 100%, as someone who searched specifically for a female doctor, I'm of a season in life where that became more important to me because there are things that are happening to my body that I could only trust another woman to speak to. So I understand that 110%. Can you tell us a little bit about the Health Equity Scholars Program?
Yeah, so the Health Equity Scholars Program is in its first year. We are actually interviewing for our second cohort. And basically it is an attempt to kind of change the paradigm of how we train students that are interested in working in underserved communities, working with underprivileged patients. And really, it's looking at breaking down barriers that the evidence has shown results in physicians deciding not to take particular jobs. The average medical student in the United States comes out with $250,000 to $300,000 worth of debt. And as even, the most dedicated student who wants to work in an underprivileged area, there is a difference in compensation. And as, physicians are starting their families, it has been found that paying off that debt can be a barrier to wanting to work in a federally qualified health center, to wanting to work in an indigenous community. So what we have decided, or what we're piloting through support of the Advancing Healthier Wisconsin partnership and through support from the medical college, is really taking away that financial barrier, finding students that are really dedicated to wanting to work in the community in underserved areas, and giving them tuition scholarships, free tuition scholarships, to really take that barrier off the table so that they don't have to narrow their scope of their dreams and who they want to care for in the future, or what specialty they want to get into. We want to take away that barrier that leads to individuals turning away from primary care or turning away from underserved populations.
So, Dr. Levis, do they have to commit to practicing in Wisconsin or in Milwaukee County, or they just be encouraged and with less debt, hopefully have a connection and decide to do that?
So it's a multifactorial approach. We don't have them sign a contract saying that they're going to practice in Wisconsin. However, the process for these students is that it's separate from their admissions to the medical college. We open this up to anyone who's already been admitted and offered a spot in our medical school. And then after that, there's a secondary application where the students have to write an essay basically on what their plans would be, what community, what their experience is, how much have they worked in underserved populations, how much have they worked in the public sector. And then what's really novel is they've already made it through a screening process with professors and physicians. Our decision, our group that decides on who the scholars will be, is made up of community members as well. So the community is investing in these students and telling these students, I want you to be my physician. Not only I believe that you are dedicated. And then we tailor the training so that every student has to do rotations in the community. Our students want to have their rotations in the city of Milwaukee, on the south side, on the north side. They want to be embedded. And then beyond that, we have a partnership with the Thrive On building on MLK and North. And our students are going to have the opportunity to live in the community and be like a learning community as well, living in the city, rotating in the city, having mentors that are community leaders across the city, and hopefully having their research projects in the city in partnership with community organizations. The idea is to have roots. The idea is to put those roots down before they have to make any financial decisions, make those ties, and then take away any pull away from where those roots are.
It's an important program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. Dr. Mike Levis is a professor there, and he's also the co-director of the Health Equity Scholars Program. Dr. Levis, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A fire in November destroys Oscar's Frozen Custard in Brookfield, but now the restaurant will rise from the ashes. The owners submit a proposal for a larger facility with a drive-through and ice cream shop at the same location on Moreland Boulevard. Associated Bank's parent company posts a loss of $164 million in the fourth quarter of 2024. That was larger than last year's loss. Associated says it would have shown a profit if not for one-time charges. Swedish tech firm Axis Communications plans to showcase its products at an experience center in the new downtown Milwaukee offices on East Michigan Street. The company anticipates 18 employees with plans to expand. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results.
This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important, because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Man, is it getting expensive to dine out, but not at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mine Shaft is family-owned, and they understand that inflation hurts. It's real. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza for free. You buy one, get one free. You buy 5 pizzas, you get 5 free pizzas. I don't know why you do this, but if you buy 100 pizzas, you get 100 free pizzas.
That's a big party.
Yeah. Feed the neighborhood, right? Take care of everybody. Business owners, managers, bring in that pizza for your hardworking employees. You only pay for half the pizzas. Bring in your family today for free pizza. These kids will love that world-class game room, the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and right near EAA in Oshkosh. Don't cook and clean today. Mondays are tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft with plenty to take home for tomorrow. Just walk on in for your free Monday pizza. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lots of time. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a registered sex offender wanted in Fond du Lac.
And I'm Toya Washington in for Julia Fellow today. Executive orders for the military.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41. You got some backups from Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 is heavy from before 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's looking pretty good, though. Southbound 43, a little bit of a heavy ride right through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in effect for most of southeast Wisconsin until 6 o'clock. Maybe a flurry tonight, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, a high of 43. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Fond du Lac police are looking for a registered sex offender. Chad Mertz cut off his GPS monitoring system this afternoon and left his home. He was convicted of child abduction in 2022. Police say he drives a red 2019 Dodge Grand Caravan. Fond du Lac police ask that anyone who encounters Mertz call 911. For photos of Mertz and his car, visit WTMJ.com.
An armed man is on the loose after threatening a Target employee. Oconomowoc police are searching for 26-year-old Keon Hawthorne. He's accused of threatening a fellow employee at the Target Distribution Center on Valley Road early Sunday morning. Hawthorne allegedly pointed a gun at the other employee before fleeing. No one was injured and no shots fired.
President Trump plans to sign 3 military-related executive orders today. CBS's Erica Brown in Washington.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth arrived at the Pentagon Monday for his first full day on the job. Hegseth previewed some of the military-related executive orders President Trump is expected to sign. They include policies for transgender service members, a ban on several diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and reinstating service members discharged for refusing to get the COVID vaccine.
The president is meeting with House Republicans in Florida shortly as they try to develop a legislative game plan to deliver his agenda.
Microsoft is making more moves in southeastern Wisconsin. The company just acquired 240 acres in Kenosha for a data center. The land is northwest of I-94 and Highway 142. The city of Kenosha voted unanimously back in December to rezone that property. Microsoft's investment in Kenosha is in addition to the $3 billion data center project that's already underway in Mount Pleasant.
In Racine, they're asking what's in a name. The school board there is expected to vote today on whether to change the name of a popular elementary school.
Red Apple Elementary is being expanded into a K-8 school in 2026. The school was first founded in 1974. It focuses on STEM. There had been a proposal to name the school after Laurel Clark, a graduate from Horlick High who died on board the shuttle Columbia in 2003. Well, the Racine Journal-Times says a committee voted on the matter in favor of no name change to keep it Red Apple. That recommendation will now be considered by the full board today. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Coming up, the ads you won't see at the Super Bowl.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 4:04.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
America's Best installer of America's Best replacement windows does not have the word windows in their name. Their name is Siding. Siding Unlimited. Hey, the Sons took Dad's siding business and ran with it. Siding Unlimited, the family-owned Wisconsin company, keeps climbing to the top of Pella Windows of Pella, Iowa's awards. Siding Unlimited, one of only 5 Pella Premier installers in the whole country. But better than that, the top. For 4 of the past 5 years, Pella has honored Siding Unlimited as their National Certified Contractor of the Year. You want windows? Pay Wisconsin prices with this great local company, delivering National Championship Award-winning service. Great craftsmanship, clean up behind, and leave the job better than before and better than expected. You know, the company with Wisconsin family values. Pride in integrity, pride in people, pride in Wisconsin. SidingUnlimited.com.
William Golding's classic novel, The Lord of the Flies, is a disturbing tale about a group of boys who cast off the thin veneer of civilization and descend into savagery on a tropical island. But did you know that a real-life incident almost took place in southeast Oklahoma more than 70 years ago? Dr. Michael Ziegler tells the story of the Robbers Cave experiment this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 4:06.
Many car companies have decided to sit out this year's Super Bowl. CBS's Jeff Gilbert explains.
As recently as 2018, 11 car makers ran ads in the Super Bowl. This year, regulars like Kia, Toyota, Ford, and GM are sitting it out, citing timing of new products. The timing apparently better for Jeep brand chief Bob Broderdorf.
You already know we immediately have America's attention. That's why the bill is so high.
Jeep sister brand Ram is also planning a Super Bowl ad. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. The game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. The Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Doc Rivers' Bucs are 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
And the Jazz have just 10 wins. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 4:07.
Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Response in Wisconsin. Guess the most popular responses from Wisconsinites. Okay, here we go. What's your least favorite thing about winter in Wisconsin? Gina Della for Pella.
Let me guess. Frozen toes? Oh, I know. Driving alongside bumper cars every time it snows. And then scrambling to find someone to watch your kids because they're school clothes. Yeah! Let's face it, this is just the time of the year when we just want to all be warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Pella Windows and Doors is the best choice to make your home just right. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years.
Thanks for playing Response in Wisconsin.
Hurry! You only have until January 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Toya Washington.
All right, Toya, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
It's always that time of day where no matter what they show on TV, if it's anything to do with food, my stomach starts grumbling.
I made sure to eat before I left the house.
Good move.
And again, I don't know what it is about this time of day. No matter how much I eat before, I'm starving right now.
And right now they're doing on Channel 12 a story on Super Bowl snacks. So the wings, the guac, all that stuff. So I was off last week, and I was in Hilton Head. And they got snow in Hilton Head. And leading into our trip there, I kept looking at the weather. You know how you do that where you're going somewhere and you're like, they say they might get snow in 2 weeks. They might get snow in a week. They might get snow in 3 days. And it snowed. It snowed like almost 5 inches of snow. They never get that.
Never.
They get that much snow like literally once every 50 years. So we were there and we got snowed in, and the snow was bad enough, but then it got really cold and icy. And so everything was crunchy and icy and insane. And in Hilton Head and in most of South Carolina, you can't find a shovel.
No.
You can't find salt.
None of it. They are not equipped
Yeah.
for, just like if there were a tsunami here, we won't know what to do.
No. So look, we're shuffling through pictures right now. If you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, you'll see some pictures. 855-616-1620.
The beach, that's tripping me up.
Yeah, the beach.
That's crazy.
So
that's
the
a
famous
crazy
Hilton
shot.
Head Beach, right now we're showing that picture. It's got that snow.
I know.
Isn't that nuts?
It looks almost like I had to orient myself because I thought it was like the
Like
foam
a
from a
yes,
waves
or a
coming
shadow.
up. Yes, but no, that is
It's snow.
straight up snow.
So we were trying to figure out if we were going to get home or not. We turned on the news, and the airport director was on the news, and he said, we know the airport's been closed for 3 days. It's going to be closed another day or two because we don't have snowplows, we don't have salt, we don't have any way to treat the runways. So the airport will reopen when Mother Nature decides that the snow and ice are
And
melted.
you know what? I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I can sit here.
Yep, exactly.
Don't take me on a plane on a runway and you don't know how to plow or salt
Don't do it.
No, I'm fine with staying here for another day or two.
Yeah. Hey, put that picture back up again. That's a picture of our hot tub. So ice and snow, couldn't get to the hot tub.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, that's you can't even tell that's a hot tub, but that's the hot tub buried. And that's the best time to be in the hot tub when it's like 30 degrees out.
It's perfect.
So it was crazy. My pipes broke. I've never had this happen. I've heard about it happening to other
Really?
people. Yeah, so an outdoor landscaper was helping me cover plants and do stuff because the cold was on its way and it was already pretty chilly. And part of the PVC inside the wall, as they were trying to cover a hose spigot outside, snapped off. Water pouring everywhere because of the cold
Inside the
weather.
house.
It was outside the house,
Outside the
but
house,
poured
okay.
like kind of inside.
Got it.
But I'm lucky my house didn't really get damaged. It was mostly outside. But they don't know what to do. I saw a guy shoveling snow with a Swiffer mop.
Stop.
It's like, I got this thing. My wife says I never use it. I'm using it now, honey. I'm in the driveway with the Swiffer mop. That's me with the Swiffer.
There was I couldn't, and I hate to laugh at other people's misfortune, but there were several different things on Instagram or TikTok or whatever where you would watch people who have never experienced this before, like walking downstairs and they're videotaping themselves, and all I could think is like, you don't understand that ice is not forgiving, okay?
That's right.
You're not supposed to step 1 foot in front of the other. You do one step at a time,
Yep.
and you hold onto a rail. I'm like, I saw so many people bust their
They were on their backside in a hurry.
Yes.
You know, I did notice, though, that first everybody was afraid down there. They were really nervous, but it brought good cheer. Kids were off for school all week. Kids were ordering sleds on Amazon and getting them delivered so that they could enjoy the snow. Even the adults were like, I guess when you only get snow every 30 years, it puts you in a good mood. Yeah. Where here I'm like, I got to get out of here. Yeah. I'm soft. Can't deal with this anymore.
See, and I'm while we're talking about winter stuff, I'll take all the snow. And my husband's like, yeah, because you're not the one that goes out and plows it. I'm like, you're right. But I'll take all the snow. It's the bitter, brutal, unforgiving, disrespectful.
Agree.
Cold. That's what kills me.
Because that hurts.
It hurts.
Yep.
Like, terribly. Like, I don't want to go outside and breathe and have everything in my nostrils frozen in a half a second. You
know how happy your husband would be if when it snows later this month or next month, you snuck out there and you did the driveway or the sidewalk?
I'm sorry. We're out of time.
Gotta go.
It's mute that button.
WTMJ.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Hey, if you're about to or are considering selling your business, you're likely experiencing a flood of questions and new priorities. Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn for an Annex Wealth Management webinar where we will discuss many of the key questions you may ask, including who you should consult with, what tasks you should prioritize, and when you're ready to make your move. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page on WTMJ.com. It's free, but you got to go to the Annex Wealth Management webinar page. Start at WTMJ.com.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. I love Thursdays. You know why? Not because it's the day before Friday, because it's the day I go to Connect Chiropractic. Every single Thursday morning I go in. It's a nuanced approach. It's not a chiropractor like you feel like they're jumping off the high dive and landed on your back and stuff's cracking all over the place. No. This is nuanced and it's focused. Dr. Alex and his team are fantastic. 2 locations in Tosa and Delafield. It's Connect Chiropractic. Voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor. They got my vote, that's for sure. It's a long-term care focus on total wellness. I love these guys. They're going to treat you great. It's Connect Chiropractic.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. Get cleaner clothes and softer skin with Morton Water Softeners. Morton's Wi-Fi integration allows for tracking and alerts, which puts you in control of your water while at home or away. Morton's look-ahead technology learns and predicts your water needs, saving you money. Save big on Morton Water Softeners. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Loziga, how we doing?
We're doing okay. We do have some delays westbound 94 from about 20th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 41 backing up just a little bit south of Capitol Drive. We do have an incident on the Rock Freeway heading southbound or westbound, depending on how you look at it. We have off just past Highway 100. We got the right shoulder blocked with an incident. It's hard to see what it is because it's behind a bridge, but delays are stretching back to Highway 100. And then we've got, looks like we've got some debris. Well, actually got cleared out of the way. Good. It was on the off-ramp from 894 westbound to 76th Street. There was like one of the barriers that kind of fell into traffic. It was getting run over and getting all crunched up. So somebody moved it out of the way, so we should be in good shape through there. I'm Debbie Lozigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for tonight, maybe a little flurry, a low of 25. Tomorrow, breezy, pretty mild, a high of 43. On Wednesday, breezy, a high of 38. Thursday, we bounce it back up. Sunny skies, a high of 48. And on Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 40 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, cloudy, breezy, it's 38 degrees. A lot of discussion about tariffs lately. Donald Trump says he will impose tariffs on different countries. Kind of depends what day of the week it is, which country is being targeted. They were used in Colombia, or the threat of them was used recently. We wanted to dive into the tariff question. Van Mobley is the former village president in Thiensville, and he is with us. Van, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. And then I'm also a professor of economics at Concordia University, Wisconsin. So I've kind of been studying tariffs for a while.
Tariffs, they go back as far as the Revolutionary War. There was different forms of tariffs. They've been used as tools. They've been used as weapons. Tariffs, good idea, bad idea?
Well, I'm kind of like the president. I'm a tariff man. I think that they certainly have their uses, not at all times in all places, but at sometimes in some places. And for one thing, they generate revenue. And that the revenue that they're generated goes into the American Treasury. Now, that can be paid by Americans, or it can also be paid by foreigners, depends on the particular tariff you have. The tariffs that Trump imposed during his first term were paid for by foreigners, and that's what he says will happen in the second term, so I think he's right on the money on that. And then also, tariffs alter trade, production, and consumption patterns. And if I know a lot of your listeners, maybe some of them, everybody wants to have a bigger retirement portfolio or a portfolio. I think of tariffs as a tool to rebalance your economy. A lot of times, if you put on a tariff, it moves your economy back towards a more diversified position, and if you take them off, your economy tends to specialize. So that's one of the ways that you would use it. And I think that's very important. It's not often spoken of among the economics profession and then in the wider public, but I think it's something that you should remember, because the United States has the ability to have a self-sufficient economy, and most economies in the world don't have that ability. We do. It's one of our great strengths, and I don't think that we should give that back or give it up. And one of the ways to maintain it is sometimes you do have to rebalance, and tariffs will help you do that. And then the third thing, and this is one that you certainly don't hear much discussion about, but it's very true, is sometimes in complex trading systems, depending on the shape of the various production possibilities frontier curves of the various trading economies, everybody in a trading situation can be better off if they actually trade less, and tariffs could help you get to that point. That's something that they really don't talk about much, but it's in fact one of the things that's identified in higher levels of macroeconomic theorizing.
All right, for those people that, I'm sorry to interrupt. For those people who might give you a little bit of pushback on that, you something that struck a chord with me. You said sometimes. So if someone is under the understanding that no matter what, this will trickle down to me buying goods, that cost is going to be imposed upon me. You said that there are sometimes where that would work and sometimes that it's not a good situation, tariff isn't good. So I guess explain to me where that sometimes it is good.
Well, I'll give you an example from sort of or from 20th century American history. The Smoot-Hawley tariffs at the beginning of the Great Depression are generally, and I think correctly, analyzed as having been a mistake, and it contributed further to the Great Depression. On the other hand, the application of tariffs in the Reagan administration on motorcycles, for example, helped out the Milwaukee economy enormously, and so there's the opposite side of the coin. That's just two historical examples of where you would have it. I think one of the things that we had today is one of the areas that would go back to my point about the altering of trade and production patterns. For a long time, we've been a free trade country, and people have said, well, we'll let other people specialize in the lower level manufacturing, and we'll specialize in things like tech and AI. And really, if you abandon your manufacturing base, something which I think would be a mistake, and you put all your eggs in the AI basket, thinking that then you'll be the top of the walk all around the world. Well, the Chinese, they're not dummies either. They just came out with a new AI app, and that's why you can see the action in the stock market today, is because maybe we're not, if we put all our eggs in the tech basket, we might very well get clobbered. I think we should have a tech basket, but I think that we should also do what we need to do to make sure that we have basic manufacturing.
So, Van, let's talk about avocados. If there's a tariff on avocados coming from Mexico, avocados are going to cost more in the grocery store, and that's not to talk about your pattern discussion earlier. We can't grow enough avocados here for us to eat avocados from here. Aren't they going to be more expensive in the grocery store for tariffs imposed on avocados?
I think if Gavin Newsom would start letting the water run in California, we might have all the avocados we need.
Well, but that's not the reality. What's going to happen? The goods coming in, won't they cost more money? I mean, Mexico's not going to pay that. We're going to pay that.
Well, it depends. As I said, it depends on, and actually, who has an interest in what. I don't know. And that's what I would say, John. I don't know until I actually see it. So a lot of these things you have a suspicion, but you don't know until you actually implement them. And the experience of the Trump first administration was the Chinese paid for the tariffs that we levied on them.
So 91% of economists in a survey said that raising tariffs, especially on our neighboring countries, will be bad for inflation. Do you agree with that 91% of economists?
No, I'm in the 9%.
Explain why, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but you got like 30 seconds. You can do it, Van.
That's what I mean. As I noted, I think some of the areas, the United States has the capability of having a massively self-sufficient and very powerful economy. And I think that really, even in a short amount of time, we can get some of the productive capacity back, and then we might even have higher quality goods at a lower price. I think we need to add capacity to our economy in areas that we've neglected in a while, and I think that's what we're going to do, and I think it's going to be great. We're going to make America great again.
Van Mobley is a professor at Concordia, and he used to be the guy in charge of the Village of Thiensville. Van, thank you so much. We always appreciate it when you make some time for us.
Thank you, John. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too. It is 4:24 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market. By the way, we'll continue to have this discussion. I know what you're saying. Why'd you have the Trump guy on to talk about tariffs? We'll have the other side on. This issue's not going away. We will cover this issue thoroughly in the coming weeks. All right, let's get to the markets. How'd they do today? You heard Van say tech did take a hit. The NASDAQ was off 612 points on the day. That's 3%. Yikes. The S&P was off 88 points on the day. The Dow, though, interestingly enough, was up 289 points on the day. That is almost 0.75%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Abby Windows. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, their mission is to transform the culture of care. They do it every single day. I've been in the Azura locations. I love how they treat the people who live there, and I love how they treat the families that come to visit. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They have special additional training in all these areas. It's Azura. It's compassion. It's Azura. It's empathy. It's Azura. It's kindness at the core. Azura has 15 locations in our state, 5 in the Milwaukee area, Wisconsin-based, family-owned, great people. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned with very low mileage Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Love it. Looks fantastic. It's got a black cloth interior. Every time I get in this truck, I say, that is amazing. 8-speed automatic transmission. Awesome mileage MPG for a truck. 24 city. Get this. 29 highway. Towing capacity. Payload is big. All the things you love about Heiser. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Whether you're talking a pre-owned or new. Safe and Sound program. Right? Vehicle exchange program. Right? Love it or exchange it. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease for the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser Automotive, today's your day.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare. Wow.
With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the 3. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. That's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper-Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper-Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper-Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper-Fi.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: a former UW chancellor suing for wrongful termination.
And I'm Toya Washington, in for Julia Fellow, breaking contact with the HWO.
I'm Debbie Lazago. Westbound 94, heavy out of the Marquette all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, so give yourself that extra time there. Southbound on 41 starts to slow down just past Hampton all the way down almost to Burleigh. We got southbound 43 backing up from about Kilbourne through Marquette interchange all the way to the KK River. And then our incident on the southbound Rock Freeway right just past just past 116th. We do still have some delays backing up to Highway 100, but it looks like they're just about ready to get that cleared out of the way. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in place until 6 o'clock tonight for most of southeast Wisconsin. Gusts could hit 50 miles an hour. Flurries tonight, a low of 25. Tomorrow, breezy, a high of 43 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, former UW La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao is suing to get his teaching job back. Gao was removed as chancellor in December 2023 and fired from teaching staff last fall for appearing in pornographic videos with his wife. Milwaukee-based attorney Mark Leitner and the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression filed the federal lawsuit on Gao's behalf today, the first day of spring semester classes at UW La Crosse. The lawsuit asks the court to order the UW Board of Regents to reinstate Gao as a tenured professor and award an unspecified amount in damages.
The staff at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are coming to terms with their new directive: no more contact with the World Health Organization. CBS's Alexander Tin on the executive order recently signed by President Trump.
CDC staff were ordered to stop all communication with the WHO in an effort to implement President Trump's executive order last week. One big way the sweeping gag order could impact the agencies is over the CDC's partnership with the WHO on influenza. Countries rely on the CDC's Atlanta lab to study viruses from worrying bird flu cases, and CDC officials were supposed to play a key role at a WHO meeting next month on updating the flu vaccines for next winter.
Last week, President Trump signed an executive order that sets out the process of withdrawing the U.S. from the WHO, but doing so requires the approval of Congress and a one-year notice.
Under its new leadership, the Justice Department will conduct its own investigation of the prosecutions of January 6 defendants. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The review has been ordered by the new acting U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., a former chief of the Missouri Republican Party who was at the Capitol on January 6th and compared the riotous scene to Mardi Gras. Under Ed Martin, the prosecutions of hundreds of now pardoned rioters will come under review. Since President Trump granted clemency to all of those who had faced punishment, several career prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office here have resigned.
One of those resignations, the head of the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section, Corey Amundson.
As emergency officials sift through piles of ash left from the devastating wildfires in California, residents are banding together in search of normalcy.
Burlington native and Pacific Palisades resident Caitlin Morale's son is back in school with precautions in place.
New air purifiers in all the classrooms. If the kids had to transition to a classroom outside, they needed to wear masks. They weren't having outdoor lunchtime. They weren't having sports outdoors.
The school Morale's son previously attended no longer exists.
To me, that's sometimes the hardest image because we have 6 years of incredible memories there, friendships made. It's really kind of the place that made us feel at home.
Greg Mansick, WTMJ News.
While Morale's home remains standing, she is uncertain if her family will ever be able to move back in.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk and college basketball. Marquette moves up one spot to number 9 in the latest AP Top 25 rankings. The Wisconsin Badgers move up one spot to number 17. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. And the West Coast tour for the Bucks continues tonight against the Utah Jazz. Our coverage starts at 7:30.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 4:34.
Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Response in Wisconsin. Guess the most popular responses from Wisconsinites. Okay, here we go. What's your least favorite thing about winter in Wisconsin? Gina Della from Pella.
Let me guess. Frozen toes? Oh, I know. Driving alongside bumper cars every time it snows. And then scrambling to find someone to watch your kids because they're school closed. Let's face it, this is just the time of the year when we just want to all be warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Pella Windows and Doors is the best choice to make your home just right. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years.
Thanks for playing Response in Wisconsin.
Hurry! You only have until January 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Got game?
What was the question?
Yeah, we've got game. We've also got...
Swims through his man and lays it in as he knifes his way into the low block.
And...
He'll give to Giannis, and he says, I'll add some more to my tally, thank you very much.
And who could forget?
Pulls up top of the arc. He got bumped, and he hit the 3. Count that, baby, with another one coming.
Catch every Milwaukee Bucks basketball game all season long on your home for the Bucks. 620 WTMJ, Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, if you've been listening to the show the last couple of weeks, you know I'm taking an incredible trip that I am super jazzed about. Is the Kingdoms of Southeast Asia. It's in October. It's Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. Each country more exciting than the other. I wanted to bring on somebody who can help me talk about the trip a little bit, because I know you have questions and I have some questions, and this is a great itinerary. Claudia Santino is a product marketing manager at Colette. They're the best in the business. It's who we always travel with. Claudia, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I want to ask you kind of a general question to begin with. This part of the world, Southeast Asia, is so far away, it's mysterious and magical. What is it about this part of the world that's so special?
Well, you know how Africa is known for safari and wildlife?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Asia is known for its people and its food. And, you know, if you're the kind of traveler or person who enjoys having one-on-one interactions and you want to understand people and food and culture, then this is definitely the place to do it.
I want to ask you a little bit about some of that. So I know this tour is really immersive. The tour we're taking listeners on is much more immersive than some of the other tours we've done. Can you give us some examples? Can you discuss that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So this is a small group explorations tour, which means it's built for immersive experiences. And this itinerary, to your point, has a lot of amazing highlights and experiences. I'm not sure I'll get to all of them, but I'll try to give you some of the real major ones. So one is that we visit Ha Long Bay, and that's a place that's synonymous with Vietnam. It's those very iconic images of the bay with the junk boats, these wooden sailing boats. The water here is emerald green, and there are thousands of islands, which it gives it a very mystical beauty. So we board this really charming junk boat, which we overnight there, and we are one of the very few tour companies left who do this. Other companies, they kind of bring people in, they offer like day excursions, and they do this to kind of let travelers tick the box, but we don't want our travelers to just tick the box to see one of the most amazing places on the planet. So we spend time on Ha Long Bay, and our travelers can swim there, they can fish, they can do Tai Chi on the boat deck.
And it's
in
beautiful.
The morning. It's gorgeous, yeah. And we sail to limestone grottos, and it's pretty wonderful. It's a 20-cabin boat, so it's really, you're really there. You know, you talk about getting a sense of place when you go there. We want to give our travelers a sense of place in a very immersive way, and you'll get that when you're on this boat.
Can you tell me about Angkor Wat? People have seen pictures of it and probably don't even realize it. What makes Angkor Wat so special?
Sure. So Angkor Wat, when you visit this place, like people say, you feel like you're traveling back in time. They're ruins, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And the ruins are so fascinating, and every statue that you see, it's going to evoke a different kind of feeling. And it's one of those places, I mean, you can look at the photos of it, but it's one of those places that you have to be there to understand its impact. And what happens is, again, we spend a lot of time there. We return twice to Angkor Wat because it's so massive and its story is so incredible. And our tour manager, and by the way, our tour managers are the best in the business. They consistently rank very high on all of our traveler feedback. But the tour managers, they take you there. You spend 2 days there back to back, and they give you as much information as they can while you're actually there wandering among the ruins. And I mean, I think it's probably one of those places that no matter how much time you spend there, it'll never be enough to do it justice.
And we see sunrise there, which sounds really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know, listen, it was discovered ages ago by a French archaeologist, but then nothing was done about it. And then it just went back into ruins, and then it was rediscovered. So, yeah.
Hey, we've only got a minute left, Claudia, and I know it's going so fast, but I wanted to ask you, I'm glad you brought up food, because I'm very excited about the food, but some people are nervous about the food because they feel like they don't know anything about the food in that part of the world.
I thought we were going to avoid food because we were so hungry.
Yeah, that's true, That's true, Toya.
But please tell me. Please tell me.
Yeah.
Please tell me about the
Well,
food.
there's nothing to worry about the food here. Like, all of these countries are renowned for their food, and it's really healthy. It does have spices, but spices don't always mean heat, you know? They just mean flavor. I would say that if you're not into seafood, you know, in Vietnam, everything has seafood in it. But, you know, this is one of the things that our tour managers are so good at. Anytime any of our travelers have a dietary restriction, they let our tour managers know, and it's handled for them. So that's never a problem. So, but the food is outstanding. Again, they're renowned for their food in all of these countries. So you can't go wrong if you're a foodie.
Thailand has the gorgeous beaches. We'll have the chance to go to an elephant sanctuary as part of this tour where they do things the right way and take beautiful care of the animals. I can't wait to do that. It's a highlight in every single country. It's going to be super special. If you'd like more information, text me, john@WTMJ.com, JOHN at WTMJ.com. I've got a beautiful color itinerary pamphlet that they put together for me at Colette. It's got pricing, details of the itinerary, because we've really just barely hit on it. John@WTMJ.com. We also have an informational meeting coming up on Monday. It's free. It's going to be fun and cool. I'll be there. Colette will be there. I'd love for you to be there. John@WTMJ.com. Claudia Santino, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
It's 442 at WTMJ. Want the information, including when and where the meeting is on Monday? John at WTMJ.com.
Football is like rock and roll. It's just and basketball is like jazz. You know, you're kind of.
Brent sends it left of the lane to Portis. Lillard sends it to the corner.
It's in the pocket. It's like
driving inside, hands it to Jackson. Catch and shoot three. Torian Prince rips the cords.
The Bucks head out to Utah to take on the Jazz. Our Bucks radio game day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. There's a significant difference between financial advisors. That's why Annex Wealth Management urges you to know the difference. Annex is local, independent, and part of the community, and that matters. Their investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning teams are based right here in Southeast Wisconsin. Now's a perfect time to get serious about your investment and retirement planning. When you start to move forward, use this simple checklist. Is your financial advisor a fiduciary? How are they at tax planning? What about estate planning? Can they help make sure your legacy plan follows your wishes? All great questions to ask, and it helps separate those who are just trying to sell you something. It's financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. They will meet you where you are on your financial journey. Visit annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. Michelle and I did that years ago. Schedule your own appointment today. That's Annex Wealth Management. And their show, Saturdays, 10 a.m., right here on WTMJ. It's fantastic. Dave Spano and his team going to get all your questions answered. It's Annex Wealth Management.
Why settle for just a job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Traffic and weather. Debbie, how we doing?
Well, we got a broken down vehicle on 43 southbound heading through the Marquette interchange. Center lane's blocked with that. So we've got delays stretching back past Fond du Lac Avenue. Now, the northbound side is a little bit slow anyway, from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past North Avenue up to Locust. Westbound 94, we got some slowdowns from 25th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Southbound 4394 is heavy off the high-rise bridge all the way down to the KK River. And then southbound on the Rock Freeway, still dealing with an incident off on the right shoulder just past 116th Street. This is slowing things down pretty much all the way into the Hale. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, maybe a flurry, and it's going to be breezy, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 43. On Wednesday, breezy, 38. On Thursday, sunny, high of 48. On Friday, mostly cloudy, a high of 40 degrees. Right now, the average high is about 30. So we're doing pretty good. Right now, it's cloudy and 38 degrees. All right. We're going to get into the Sam Kuffel discussion.
Let me stretch out. Hold on.
Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
I actually wanted to have this discussion while you're here because you're a renowned journalist in town and Sam Kuffel, a TV person. So let's have the discussion. I'll lay out the basic facts here, and then Toya and I will weigh in. Sam Kuffel was a meteorologist at Channel 58. Sam Kuffel was watching Elon Musk during the inauguration activities, Elon Musk thrust his right hand out. Some say it looked like he was doing a Hitler salute. Sam Kuffel put this on her private Instagram account. Dude, Nazis saluted twice during the inauguration. You F with this and this man, then I don't F with you. Then she added an anti-Nazi theme. Okay, this was not a station account. This was her personal account. She says she thought it was private. That's her word. So this is out there. People noticed it. People started talking about it. There became a groundswell against Sam Kuffel. People saying, leave politics out of this, and I'm giving you the nice version of it. You shouldn't be saying this. What's wrong with you? So Channel 58 and their ownership group fired Sam Kuffel. They confirmed that she was no longer with Channel 58. Sam Kuffel said in a statement to the Journal-Sentinel that I never intended to harm anyone. I was just voicing my personal opinion on a private social media account that was not accessible to the general public. Well, it was accessible to somebody because I saw several people posting it.
Well, I mean, if it was a private account before this post, you need to check your friends.
Yep, because somebody put this out there. So she got fired because saying that Elon Musk's gestures were Nazi salutes, and she says that used the F word a couple times, talking about how that was really, really inappropriate. So the question everybody's been debating all week, and we'd love for you to weigh in, should Sam Kuffel have been fired? The Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line is 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. As we continue our discussion, send us a text, call. Brandon will screen the calls, and you can be part of the conversation, but you need to get in on this now, 855-616-1620. What do you think?
Well, here's the getcha gotcha. Looking from a perspective of someone that worked in the media, our contracts were fairly explicit in the sense that you are a representation of the station. So there was code of conduct. You agreed to it. As much as it is part of your being to have opinions as a journalist, you shelf those. Bottom line, you shelf those. But one of the things that struck me with it was the swiftness of it. We don't know if she had a track record, if there was something in her HR file about any other posts that were made that would have led to a firing. I struggle with this one and still struggle with this one as someone who was a journalist for 27 years, even 2 years after not being on the air anymore. I still have trouble voicing my opinion.
You said that earlier to me here in the studio.
I am very careful even in having this discussion because I've had to explain to people that are in my circle in my life. Like, first of all, nothing is private, period, in this day and age. Let's take a look back at like the Marquette student who was here on a lacrosse scholarship. She was on Snapchat, used a racial slur, and what did Marquette do? Pull her scholarship. Yep. She was no longer invited to be on the team.
Yep.
Nothing is private, period. Period.
You're right. I agree with what you just said. I, like you, signed a lot of contracts in TV, and every one of them had a code of conduct. I signed contracts here in radio. They all had language that said, I cannot do anything that brings embarrassment or is detrimental to the TV station, the website, the ownership group of the TV station, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was very, very clear. I have not seen her contract, but that is standard language in every single contract. This hurts the TV station brand. This hurts the TV ownership brand. This hurts advertisers who have spent their money to run ads during her weathercast. It hurts all of them. Meteorologists are in news meetings. They occasionally pitch stories. They're part of the editorial process. And now you know how she feels. The worst part for me is not the debate over whether it was a Nazi salute. It's the language. It's the harsh, dirty, inappropriate language.
And that was one of the things that I was explaining to some of my mom friends, like explaining the language. Like, would it have been, just hypothetically, one of the most like interesting, I think it was a TikTok that I saw, where it's, yes, we'll talk about the salute, and I know we want to keep that separate from the language, right? But would it have been a different situation if the post had been, if you don't have a problem with this type of a hand gesture, why don't you walk into a business meeting and do it? Walk into your boss's office and do it. Walk into church and do it. If the answer is the answer, right? Like if that had been the post, do you think we would be talking about this right now?
I don't think so.
So you think it boils down to the language primarily?
Yes, primarily. I do. I think the way you just said it, actually, hey, I'm sitting here watching the inaugural stuff. A lot of you probably saw what I just saw. Don't think it's a big deal? Try walking into your Monday meeting with your team at work or your boss's office and behaving like that and see what would happen. I think we're having a much different conversation. Maybe she's disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's suspended. I don't know. I want to get to one of the texters here. So one of the texts said, is this free speech or not? Please clarify for listeners. Okay. So free speech is a phrase that is used to describe things you can be prosecuted for, things you can be arrested for, things you can be hauled off of the street for and put in handcuffs. Free speech does not mean that no matter what your profession or job, you can say whatever you want. That is not defined as free
There are
speech.
consequences.
That's right.
There for what you say and what you do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you look at it both ways here. There were consequences.
Yep.
There were consequences.
Yep, there were. I mean, and they continue. Local brewing companies putting up a big billboard now next to Channel 58 saying, boycott 58 because they fired her. If they hadn't fired her, probably the same thing would be happening. There are consequences. And, you and I know, Toya, that when you get into this business, you got to be careful. You got to be objective. Your personal life is your public life because the two are intertwined in the world we live in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even more so now. And here's the other discussion that I've had with friends where I explain we are also at a very interesting point in journalism in general, but we have a lot of very young up and coming journalists where they grew up online. They grew up on social media, and that's how they have expressed their opinion, their worldviews, their whole entire life. But now you're making the transition into a profession where you have to be down the middle. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Yep.
Period. Your opinion doesn't matter.
But we know that. She knew that. She knew that. And she chose to do this. I said it already. I haven't seen her contract. But there's language. I signed 11 of these contracts. There's language in every single contract, and I was with 5 different ownership groups that basically say you can't do this sort of thing.
Yeah. It's the same reason here, you look at why you don't put political signs in your yard as a journalist, why you don't. I mean, I had, this was, I probably would say close to 8 years ago, I had the Waukesha Republican women's, I can't remember what their group was. They wanted me to come moderate. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. And I would have said the same thing to the Democratic side. I would have said the same thing to the Independent side. I would have said the same thing to the Tea Party. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Those are the things that you have to understand going into this business that you have to shelf.
You just have to. A couple quick texts, then we got to get out of here. I want to share what some of our listeners are feeling. Private or not, she should have been talked to but not fired. Okay, I think that gets to what you said. There's stuff here that we just don't know. Maybe in the past she was talked to. Here's another text. She's a meteorologist, not a politician. Doesn't matter that it was private post. Nothing is private. I don't care what she thinks about Musk. I want to know if it's going to rain or snow.
I mean,
that's pretty much
speaking the truth right there.
Yep. Here's another one, very simple. No, Sam should not have been fired. Here's another one. Adult decisions have adult consequences. I work for a large corporation and purposefully do not make aggressive statements on social media.
Yeah. I mean, this is the age in which we live. I mean, you look at the Eagles fan fired from his job, for the people say, the guy was baiting him. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I've had a lot of stuff baited and said to my face. Does that mean that I am going to? You have
to rise above that.
Yes, you have to rise above that. And what people just don't seem to understand is that nothing is private. Nothing is private.
Nothing.
Period. And it doesn't matter if you're a forward-facing journalist, a politician, everything you do online can live forever and can have consequences.
Yep, and in this case, it sure did. It's 4:57 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A fire in November destroys Oscar's Frozen Custard in Brookfield, but now the restaurant will rise from the ashes. The owners submit a proposal for a larger facility with a drive-through and ice cream shop at the same location on Moreland Boulevard. Associated Bank's parent company posts a loss of $164 million in the fourth quarter of 2024. That was larger than last year's loss. Associated says it would have shown a profit if not for one-time charges. Swedish tech firm Axis Communications plans to showcase its products at an experience center in the new downtown Milwaukee offices on East Michigan Street. The company anticipates 18 employees with plans to expand. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by Uline. Visit uline.com today.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Hey, John Mercure here for Landworks Wisconsin. You know what the thing about this time of year is when you're thinking about a landscaping company? They can help you plan for next year. They've got the best technology and the best people at Landworks Wisconsin. They will take your yard and make it beautiful. They look at land work a little bit differently because of their customer service. From the crew to the salesperson to the admin team, Landworks Wisconsin is the best. They did my yard, and they put the lighting in my yard. It is fantastic. It transformed our yard. Landscape architects, they do landscape and hardscape. It's Landworks Wisconsin. Check them out today. Landworks Wisconsin.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lots of time. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story is security scare at the Capitol.
And I'm Toya Washington in for Julia Fellow. Children injured in a car crash in Beaver Dam.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 43, still dealing with the center lane blocked in the Marquette because of a broken down vehicle. Now we got backups all the way back to North Avenue, so careful with that. Beyond that, though, if you're on 4394 southbound, you'll start to see delays coming off of the high-rise bridge all the way down to the KK River. Northbound 43 is slow from Fond du Lac Avenue up to North Avenue. And then westbound 94, we've got delays basically from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's been pretty quiet this afternoon. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Wind advisory in effect for southeast Wisconsin for one more hour tonight. Sprinkles, a low of 25. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a mid-afternoon security scare at the U.S. Capitol. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Pictures from the scene show officers blocking access to the south door of the Capitol near the House chamber and huddling over a bottle and other assorted evidence on the ground. Capitol Police say the suspect claimed to have a Molotov cocktail and a knife. That suspect was quickly taken into custody.
New video shows the possible start of the Eaton fire. News Nation's Nancy Liu reports.
Multiple residents have also shared video evidence of flames at the base of that transmission tower on the night of the Eaton fire, which eventually killed 17 people and wiped out much of Altadena. SoCal Edison tells News Nation experts are reviewing the video and any conclusions are premature. Now, the cause of both the Eaton and Palisades fires remain under investigation.
As of Saturday morning, the Eaton fire was 95% contained, having scorched more than 14,000 acres and incinerating thousands of structures.
No one is hurt after a trash fire in Sun Prairie. An ambulance driver noticed clouds of smoke near Nelson and Bailey roads just after 9 o'clock Friday. Medics circled back to the Prairie landfill to find flames coming from the side of the hill. Firefighters estimate 3,000 square feet of the area was on fire. It took over 3 hours and 16,000 gallons of water to extinguish the blaze. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
January is National Blood Donation Month, but according to the American Red Cross, hundreds of donation drives were canceled this month due to extreme weather events. Dr. Arun Shet of the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute tells WTMJ News the blood supply affects a wide range of conditions.
Cancer, pregnancy and childbirth, a car accident, having trauma, or undergoing surgery. Sometimes people have blood disorders that prevent them from making blood correctly and require blood transfusion, like sickle cell disease.
About 40% of the population is eligible to donate blood, but only about 3% actually do.
Coming up, how do Milwaukee venues book the biggest names in entertainment? Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 5:05. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too. with excellent customer service and high-quality work. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
It is 5:07 on WTMJ.
The Pabst Theater Group is peeling back the curtain on booking some of today's biggest performers.
The day after comedian Nikki Glazer crushed her hosting gig at the Golden Globes, demand for tickets to her Milwaukee show skyrocketed. The Pabst Theater Group's COO, Matt Berenger.
We contacted her management and said, hey, this is taking on some new life here. And they said, oh, yeah, tell us about it, because it's happening now, not just in Milwaukee, but all around the country.
So the group added a second performance.
And that show sold out nearly immediately. And that's the time where we have to go, look, we've got to get some more access for the fans here and make sure that as many people are able to see her show as possible.
The next move was switching the shows to a bigger venue, from the Riverside to Miller High Life Theater. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will be Chiefs and Eagles. Chiefs are looking for their third consecutive Super Bowl win. The Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah. Doc Rivers' Bucs are 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
Meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:08.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Toya Washington.
Hey, happy Monday. Glad you're hanging out with us. Toya, do you have a dog or a cat?
I have a dog. His name is Ramsey.
What kind of dog?
He's a Vizsla.
What's a Vizsla?
He's like a red-headed cousin of the Weimaraner and smaller.
Oh, okay.
So a hunting dog.
Okay.
We don't hunt.
But you got a cool dog.
But we got a really cool dog, yes.
Okay, so I want your take on this. In New York City, the Common Council is about to pass a resolution that would say that New Yorkers can take paid sick leave to care for their pets and service animals. They're calling it a paternity leave. So in addition to taking sick leave for you, they also have a law now that's the most generous in the country that says that you can take it to take care of anybody in your family. You would also be able to use your sick time to take care of your dog or cat. If they had a vet appointment or you thought they weren't feeling well, you could use one of your sick days.
I'm down for that.
I don't see the downside.
I don't see the downside either. As long as people, again, and this is PTO, like in general, like as long as you're not taking advantage of it. But I mean, having been in a situation where we've had to rush the dog to an emergency vet appointment, and my husband has the convenience of being able to make his own schedule, and he can be remote and has been remote prior to COVID. So, like, he can up and do that.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was still on air, I mean, if he had been traveling and something happened, like, I would have to call in sick, and I wouldn't have told my boss that it was, because my dog is vomiting. Like, there's no way. I'd have said, my kid's home sick.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got an illness at home.
Yep.
I got someone sick at home.
I have someone sick at home. I didn't say if it was a human or a dog.
That's right. I'm not lying. I didn't lie to you.
No.
And this doesn't mean that they'll get more sick time. Like, they're not saying instead of if you work for a company that has 40 hours of sick time, that instead now you get 48 or 56. It just says that you can use the sick time instead for your pet. Now, the opposite side of this is some people are saying, no. that someone else now will have to work overtime potentially. This costs companies money. What's next? Your goldfish doesn't feel well. These are things I'm reading from people in New York. It's not good for the government to mandate this sort of thing. I think for a lot of people, pets are their family.
Yes.
And for all of us, pets are a part of our family for sure. But if you don't have kids in the house or you don't have kids, I mean, who's to say that your dog, who you've had for 10 years, and that's when you really start to need to maybe take the dog to the vet more often, is any less important?
Exactly.
I just don't see the downside if they're not mandating that companies dish out more sick time.
Yes. So, I mean, people are going to use up, first of all, Americans hardly ever use up their paid time off in general anyway, but I guess I can see the other side of it, but then again, like, I can hear people already. Well, if I don't have a pet, then I should have that. Well, you do have that time off.
Exactly.
Like, if you have it, like.
And like you just said, anyhow, people do this all the time.
Yes.
They have to an emergency vet appointment. They're calling in sick.
That's right.
So I see no big deal. So this is scheduled to become law in New York. It sounds like sometime later this month, so sometime the next week. It is 5:13 at WTMJ. A big change coming to Costco. We've got the details up next.
The only place to get this.
Every twist and turn you could possibly dream of is playing out tonight. Are you kidding me?
With some of this.
We are the Bucks, Justin.
You're a member of the team now. Okay.
Well, I have the tattoo on my arm, so I kind of am.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Guthrie and Fry water conditioning, they're the best thing going. What's so important in your house that you can't do with it when it's wrong? The air and the water, right? The water at Guthrie and Fry is fantastic. I know because they do the stuff in my house. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system. Basically means that the water coming into my house is filtered. It's crisp, clean, and clear. Better water makes a big difference. They know that at Guthrie and Fry. I've been with them for years. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. It's Guthrie and Fry water conditioning. Affordable. Creative solutions. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice is Guthrie and Fry.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of Southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across Southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more. With WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and at WTMJ.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
At 5:15, let's check those roads with Debbie Lazaga. How's that ride rolling, Deb?
Yeah, it's still a bit backed up heading southbound on 43. There's that broken down vehicle that's stuck in that center lane as you're making your way through the Marquette. So give yourself some extra time. The brake lights really start kicking in right about at North Avenue, so be prepared for that. Northbound slowing from Fond du Lac up past North as well. Westbound 94 slowing from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. 41 southbound still kind of heavy. Your usual spots from Hampton down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, maybe a flurry, breezy, a low of 25 degrees. Tomorrow, breezy, cloudy, a high of 43. Wednesday, breezy, a high of 38. And on Thursday, the sun's back out big time, a high of 48. Friday, slight chance for snow, mostly to the south, a high of 40 degrees. Right now, cloudy and 38. I feel like we're in Costco every week. I wish we weren't in Costco every week. And sometimes we don't even buy any food, and we walk out of there with a cart full of stuff, I feel like.
I'm always like happy when I'm like, woo, it's under $200. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Is that true?
And then it's like, it's one of those, oh, well, because you don't have the handle of Tito's and meat this visit.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So I'm a really cheap date sometimes. A lot of times we'll go to Costco after work, and I'll say to Michelle, my wife, what do you think if we just... Are we really ratchet if we just grab the hot dog and the soda for $1.50 or the slice of pizza and eat it here at Costco?
That's what it's for.
And so we do sometimes. And every time I grumble because I'm not a Pepsi product guy.
Uh-huh.
And so the big announcement from Costco is that in their food court, they're switching from Pepsi products to Coca-Cola.
See, now I am the opposite of you. Now, I don't
See?
drink a whole lot of soda, but
Me either.
It's one of those that like a nice, crisp Diet Pepsi for me.
Isn't
But
that so
It's
interesting?
not, I like Diet Coke, and this sounds real bougie. I like Diet Coke, but I have to have lemon. with it.
Oh, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
you'd feel like you don't need the lemon in the Diet Pepsi. It stands on its own.
Correct.
I was sad when Kiera Mist went away. You know what I just said?
Kiera Mist.
I can't believe I just said on the air. My daughter's name is Kiera.
Oh, and you said.
And so growing up, we always called it Kiera Mist because it was
Got
her
it.
favorite soda. When Sierra Mist went away, and now they have Starry.
Yeah.
And so
It's
that's
still
all.
there.
Yep,
It's still
it's
there.
going away though. So now it's going to be what, Sprite? Is that the Coke version? I think it's
I think you're
Sprite.
right. Yeah.
Coke, Diet Coke, and Coke Zero. They used to be Coke, and they said they went away from Coke 12 years ago because
brought in-
Coke was too expensive.
Oh. I
So
did
they
not know
must have
this.
negotiated a good deal because
Yeah.
now they're bringing Coke back.
All right,
A survey of Costco customers found that 87% prefer Coke.
Interesting.
So they're bringing Coke back.
Well, there you go. The people have spoken. Have you, speaking of cheap, this is not going to, you're going to end in not such a cheap date. Have you ever had their iced cappuccino frothy, like?
No. Is it really good?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. They have a mocha one. That's my
Okay.
little sneak treat.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, try to justify it. I'm like, well, it's cheaper than like me going through the Starbucks drive through,
uh-huh.
but
You know
yeah.
what else is very good there is their soft serve ice cream. It's better than
Really?
most soft serve is kind of crappy, right? If
Uh-huh.
you go to McDonald's or somewhere like that, which I
Watery.
haven't done it. Yeah. Theirs is really creamy. It's
Really?
really good, and it's also really, really cheap.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now, the other one that I will say, my only gripe with Costco right now is the churros. They took away the churros.
Oh.
And those were fantastic.
I didn't know that. I used to get that occasionally.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Okay, while we're talking about soda, though, because I heard you say it, and I've heard someone else say it actually today, talking about soda that is Sprite, 7-Up, Sierra Mist, Starry, whatever. You call it what? White soda?
Yeah, white soda. White soda.
It's clear. I don't get this. I don't understand you people. Like, I have been here in Wisconsin.
You're right. I never even thought
since
about
the
that.
fall of '90, and the first person that said, "Do you want a white soda?" I was straight up offended. I was like, "There's a difference between a white
Do
soda
I look
and
like
a
I
brown
want a white soda?
No, and then they're like, "Do you want 7-Up?" I was like, "Oh,
That's a white
Oh.
soda?
I was
Okay.
like, "You call it white
Okay.
soda?" I was like, "But it's clear."
You make a really good point. Yeah. All right. What kind of clear soda do you have? That's
Yes.
I'll ask next time.
Yes.
All right. Fair. It's 5:20 at WTMJ.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickard for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickard on WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. You know, dogs can be a lot like kids. And like raising kids, the dogs didn't always listen. I thought, why are my dogs not better behaved? Why are they jumpy and barky? It ends up because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, actually. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training helped me be a better dog owner. It helped me take better care, helped me know what to do. And now my dogs are happy, confident, more obedient. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. They're better dogs because I'm a better dog owner. It works. Before I ever started reading this ad, I was a paying customer at Sit Mean Sit. Check them out. Free consultation. That's how we began. It's Sit Mean Sit Dog Training.
Namaste. Dan, what are you doing?
Shh.
You're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Hey, if you're about to or considering selling your business, you're likely experiencing a flood of questions and new priorities. Join me and Annex Wealth Management's Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn for an Annex Wealth Management webinar where we will discuss many of the key questions you may ask, including who you should consult with, what tasks you should prioritize, and when you're ready to make your move. Visit the Annex Wealth Management webinar page at WTMJ.com.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Hey, happy Monday. Time to recognize another everyday hero. Here's WTMJ's Eric Bilstad.
Wisconsin's Morning News identifies an everyday hero as an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life. Today we head to São Luís, Brazil. Olympic kite surfer Bruno Lobo was offshore at sea enjoying a good kite surf and testing a new camera he got. He's basically surfing on a board while holding onto ropes that are attached to a giant kite so he can glide and surf and jump waves, etc. when he heard something in the distance.
I heard someone screaming, and then I recognized that was someone drowning, and then I did a turn with the kite and I tried to help as soon as possible.
He sees a woman struggling to keep her head above water, and they're quite a bit offshore. She was swimming. She has no life jacket. He says he was surprised to see her that far out. So he jumps off the board, swims to her.
It was a very scary moment, so I tried to calm down her. I said to her to carry on my back.
Lobo gets her to hold on to his neck while he uses the kite to drift back to the board. Then he holds onto the board as they get all the way back to shore while she continues to hold on to him. He tells CBC News the woman was very thankful when they made it back.
He gave me a hug and said, "You saved my life," and she cried, and it was a very special moment.
The woman is okay and so lucky to be alive, and if you see the video, there's no one around. You can see it on our website. Just text the word HERO to Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. It's 855-616-1620. We'll send it to you. At the end, Lobo did say something very interesting. He's obviously a competitor. He came in 7th in the Paris Olympics. He's a 2-time Pan American Games champion, but he said what happened that day tops everything else.
This is my biggest achievement. I can use the sport to save a life, so yeah, this is my biggest trophy, for sure.
You're definitely a champion in our book, Bruno Lobo. Thank you so much for being an everyday hero. That's a trophy you can carry the rest of your life. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Everyday Hero on WTMJ. All right, coming up, you've heard us say it's going to get mild. How mild is it going to be, and when does the warm weather really arrive? Meteorologist Brian Isnansky will be with us coming up after the break. And then a really cool thing happening at the Medical College of Wisconsin that they hope will encourage young physicians in training to actually stay here once they become doctors. We'll get that for you all coming up in the last half hour of the show. First, a look at the markets, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It was a strange day because the Dow was up 290 points. That's a pretty big jump. It's at 44,713, while the NASDAQ plunged as AI fears kind of unnerved Wall Street, and the NASDAQ was off big time, 612 points. That is more than 3%. The S&P 500 was down 89 points. That's 1.5% on the day. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Otto's Wine and Spirits, serving Milwaukee since 1945. Employee-owned, friendly staff, 7 locations, open 7 days a week. My location's in Menominee Falls. They're all great. You've been buying Otto's because there's so many in the Milwaukee area. Stop in there and see for yourself. Best selection, best value. That's what I always tell people when they ask me why I shop at Otto's on a regular basis. They'll beat any advertised price. They've got the best selection on beer. That beer cooler's incredible. All the seltzers. And I'm a Tito's guy. And the handle of Tito's there is better priced than anywhere else. Aperol, I just picked up some Aperol, too. It's really well priced. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. Wisconsin strong. It's Otto's.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people, but the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story this afternoon. Former UW La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao wants his teaching job back.
And I'm Toya Washington in for Julia Fellow. Massive violence and suffering in Sudan.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, still dealing with the issue on southbound 43 in the Marquette. Center lane is still blocked with a broken down vehicle, and that is really seriously backing things up almost all the way back to Capitol Drive. It's a slow crawl through that area. You might want to avoid that for the time being. Northbound slowing down from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to about Locust. Westbound 94 slowing from 16th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's back on the brakes from about basically from Hawley Road all the way to 35th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A wind advisory in effect for another 30 minutes for southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 25. Tomorrow, windy and mild, a high of 42. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, former UW La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao is suing to get his teaching job back. Gao was removed as chancellor in December and fired from teaching staff last fall for appearing in pornographic videos with his wife. Milwaukee-based attorney Mark Leitner and the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression filed the federal lawsuit on Gao's behalf today, the first day of spring semester classes at UW La Crosse. They're arguing the First Amendment protects Dr. Gao's speech. The lawsuit asks the court to order the UW Board of Regents to reinstate Gao as a tenured professor and award an unspecified amount in damages.
A dire situation in conflict-torn Sudan. Ambassador Dorothy Shea, Deputy U.S. Representative to the United Nations, addressing the UN Security Council today.
Shocking cruelty and violence toward defenseless Sudanese. The brutal conflict has resulted in the world's largest humanitarian catastrophe, leaving 638,000 Sudanese experiencing the worst famine in Sudan's recent history.
Attacks targeting the Saudi teaching maternal hospital in El Fashir reportedly killed 70 Sudanese civilians and injured dozens more.
After rain extinguished the last of the big Palisades fire in Los Angeles, the city is now allowing everybody to go back in to see what remains of their homes. ABC's Alex Stone.
For the first time since the Palisades fire started and days after President Trump visited, insisting everybody be allowed to go home, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass announcing all evacuees can return.
Today is really about focusing on the recovery and getting people back home.
The neighborhoods are only open to residents, and from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., some areas require a police escort to get in. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
One person is dead and 6 others injured, including children, after a crash in Beaver Dam. Now, this happened at around 4:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon near County Roads A and B in Dodge County. A driver in a pickup truck blew through a stop sign and was hit going through the intersection. Now, a 30-year-old man from Tennessee who was in the pickup truck was ejected. He died at the scene. The 32-year-old driver, also from Tennessee, is being treated for serious injuries and was arrested for OWI. The driver, a passenger, and 3 children in the other vehicle were taken to area hospitals.
A 29-year-old is recovering at the hospital after a shooting on Milwaukee's north side. The shooting happened about 11:30 this morning near Darien and Green Tree. The suspect was arguing with the victim when the suspect fired shots into the victim's car. Police are still searching for that shooter.
Microsoft is making more moves in southeastern Wisconsin. The company just acquired 240 acres in Kenosha for a data center. The land is northwest of I-94 and Highway 142. The city of Kenosha voted unanimously back in December to rezone the property there. Microsoft's investment in Kenosha is in addition to the $3 billion data center project already underway in Mount Pleasant.
How do food pantries keep a variety of food in stock? At local food pantry Nourish MKE, Executive Director Valerie McMillan explains how recovering food waste plays a large role.
Some food comes from Hunger Task Force. That's through the Federal Emergency Food Assistance Program.
You have like all of the same green beans, all of the same dried cranberries, all of the same cereals, things like that.
Then there's Feeding America, which coordinates regional food waste recovery from grocery chains like Kroger. The final third of donations to Nourish MKE comes from local grocery stores and volunteers
who go out and do pickups at these locations and then drop them off at our food pantries, and they're then brought in and sorted for quality.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
What's in a name? The school board in Racine is expected to vote today on whether to change the name of a popular elementary school.
Red Apple Elementary is being expanded into a K-8 school in 2026. The school was first founded in 1974. It focuses on STEM. There had been a proposal to name the school after Laurel Clark, a graduate from Horlick High who died on board the shuttle Columbia in 2003. Well, the Racine Journal-Times says a committee voted on the matter in favor of no name change to keep it Red Apple. That recommendation will now be considered by the full board today. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. In college basketball, Marquette moves up 1 spot to number 9 in the latest AP Top 25 ranking. The Wisconsin Badgers move up 1 spot to number 17. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. And the West Coast Tour for the Bucks continues tonight against the Utah Jazz. Our coverage starts at 7:30. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 5:35.
I've got one job to tell you what time it is. I'm failing.
What time is it?
5:36:05.
There you go. Nice job. News is sponsored by Holiday Automotive, Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, drive into 2025 confident and inspired in a new all-wheel drive Mazda SUV during the New Year's sales event. Connect with Team Holiday for impressive selection. Find the one right for you, then pair up their low, clearly marked simplified price with enticing offers and get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade. Well-qualified buyers can lock in 2.9% 5-year or 6-year financing on the raved-about, luxurious 3-row Mazda CX-90 or the first ever spacious and nimble 2-row Mazda CX-70. Plug-in hybrid models included. Are you or someone in your household already driving Mazda? Owner loyalty rewards could save you even more. Get qualifying details while you enjoy the award-winning guest care at Wisconsin's #1. It's the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State, and I'm one of them. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
It's 5:37.
Nailed it.
Sweet.
Let's bring in our friend, Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Hey, Niz, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Back from your snowy trip down south, huh?
It was crazy, Niz. It was so bizarre because only like once every 30 years do they get this much snow.
And I bet you were a little bit like, get over it, guys. But
I was.
Yeah.
There's pictures up right now. Producer Brandon's put up some pictures of me and Michelle. 855-616-1620. If you watch the live feed, you can text that and you'll see the pictures. Niz, this beach, which is voted one of the best beaches in America every single summer, was covered in snow. It's
crazy.
People said they couldn't remember the last time it was happened. One more quick story. We were trying to decide if our flight was going to get out, and the snow happened on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we didn't fly out till Sunday. I said, of course, that's not going to be a problem. But then it got really cold, and everything froze, and the airport director went on TV and said, we don't have plows, we don't have de-icing equipment, we don't have brine, we don't have anything. The airport will reopen when Mother Nature decides it's warm enough.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was closed for like 4 days.
Well, I guess that keeps it, cut and dry for people, right?
It's like you're not sitting. Message.
No, you're not sitting in limbo wondering, am I getting out?
That's true.
Just crazy. I mean, we talked about it a lot last week, but like to see that amount of snow all the way to the coastline is wild. I mean, I've seen it clip it. I've seen, little hints of winter, but to get several inches of snow like that from Houston to Louisiana to the Carolinas is just crazy.
What is the temperature normally when you're there this time of year?
The average high this time of year is 61. And the first couple days we were there, the high was in the mid-30s. People were freaked out.
I bet.
And the kids were excited, and the adults were not having it. They were.
Brian, we're not even going to talk about local news right now, or local weather right now. We're just so fascinated with how people function. How do they function?
It's crazy.
And you brought up the cold. That was the real thing because occasionally they get flurries or 7 years ago, they got 3 inches of snow, but it's usually gone the next day. But it got cold. It got really, really cold there. So the snow, when I left yesterday, it was the 6th day that the snow was still on the ground. And it was just weird to see. It was just
not
weird.
The vacation you were thinking.
Yeah,
but
it was still okay.
It had to be unique, though.
Yeah.
And you could probably talk to your neighbors and stuff down there and be like, this is great. This is what I'm used to.
This is my wheelhouse.
Well, they were all cursing me. They were like, "Oh, Wisconsin boy, you brought that weather down here. What are you doing?
Take it home with you.
Yeah, get that out of here." So text word walk,
that's
and
awesome.
you can see some pictures of it.
Just the palm trees and all the the beaches and the blue water. It's just so it's crazy. It's crazy to see.
It's really, really crazy. And we're gonna have a pretty mild week. It sounds like, huh?
We are. So, I mean, I got to tell you, though, when you were down there, it might have been winter. We were dealing with some brutal stuff. So it was worse up here. We had the wind, we had the cold. But, yes, we are warming up. Today we got up to 40, and I think we make it another round tomorrow. I think we get up to maybe around 42 degrees. But with some wind, winds were really gusty this afternoon. We had some, I think Milwaukee peaked at 48 miles per hour and Kenosha at 48 miles per hour. So yeah, some gusty winds. Not the most pleasant 40 degrees.
What's the average high this time of year?
30. So we were 10 degrees above average, which is pretty rare so far this January. January is going to go down as a below average month this year. So it's been cold, but it's been nice to kind of thaw out here.
Starting the year out below average.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would assume the snow is below average as well, correct?
It is, yeah. We're late. We probably have. I don't even think we have half the amount of snow we should have on the state right now. We have a ways to go, but yeah, it's been back-to-back years of a snow drought for us.
Yeah.
All right, hey, lead us through tonight and the next 5 days.
Sure.
Liz.
Okay, guys. So tonight, mostly cloudy, windy. There might be a few sprinkles or flurries out there. Low temperature tonight, 25. Now, tomorrow, partly cloudy, windy, mild. Not as windy as today, but we still could get some 30, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, a high of 42 tomorrow. Now, Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Slight chance we get clipped with a snow shower Wednesday, especially north of Milwaukee. Not a big deal. Back down to 35. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high of 47. Now, Thursday night into Friday, we are going to have to watch a stronger system that comes in from the south. Right now, it looks like we're on the fringe of this, where the bulk of it goes across Illinois and Indiana. We'll put a rain-snow chance in the forecast, though, for Friday with a high temperature of 37 degrees.
All right. We'll check back in tomorrow. Thanks, Niz.
Okay, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
It is 5:42 at WTMJ.
There are a lot of interesting people and traditions in Wisconsin. 1 hour of covering culture and creativity in our state is simply not enough. I'm Sandy Max of WTMJ's What's on Tap with the happy news that my show is now expanded to 2 hours. So please join me weeknights from 6 till 8 for updates on festivals, films, food, music, theater, and other ways we love to make the most of Wisconsin life. What's on Tap with Sandy Max weeknights now from 6 till 8 on WTMJ. And subscribe to the What's on Tap podcast to listen anytime you want.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I know it's January. I know. It's John Mercure here. You have the January blues. I got something that'll brighten it up for you. Monday and Tuesday with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. Check this out. Enjoy any steak, seafood, the pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, steak and lobster, anything on the menu, and your second dinner's free. FREE free. This is my favorite part, is the desserts are always buy one, get one free. They've got huge ice cream drinks, including the cool ones with the alcohol. Buy one, get one free, like Brandy Alexander.
I love those. A grasshopper.
Yes.
See, now we were talking about food, and I'm starving, and now we're talking about, and it's only
Drinks,
Monday,
and
I
you're
try to,
Thursday.
yeah,
You're
and
trying
we
to
try
be good.
I try to not to drink until like at least Thursday.
It's Thursday somewhere, isn't it? Sip
probably.
on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan bourbon. They've got a wine list with 100 wines. Right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine. It's a one-of-a-kind gem. I really do love the Fox and Hounds. People ask me all the time, do you really eat there? I do. We get there pretty frequently. It's really beautiful this time of year. The 7 wood-burning fireplaces are going to keep you nice and warm and cozy. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Loziga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. All right, they finally cleared that broken down vehicle in the Marquette. Thank goodness. But we still have some delays coming in from just south of Keefe all the way down towards Fond du Lac Avenue and a little bit right through the Marquette itself. Westbound 94, heavy from about 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side is going to be a bit slow right through the stadium interchange itself. Everything else is looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
So doctor shortages have been plaguing parts of Milwaukee County, and a new Medical College of Wisconsin program is hoping to change all of that. Dr. Mike Levis is a professor of pediatric emergency medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin and the guy in charge of the Health Equity Scholars Program. Dr. Levis, thank you so much for making some time for us.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Hey, let's start with, before we get into the solution that Medical College is working through and how you're helping students, can you talk briefly about the shortage? Can you tell us, is this a big issue in our inner city?
Yeah, it's a big issue, not just in our inner city, but, in rural communities and across the country. There are shortages of physician providers throughout the United States, and Wisconsin is no different. In the city of Milwaukee, there aren't enough primary care physicians. There aren't enough specialists to really meet the demand of the care that's needed. Just this last year in emergency medicine, as an example, not every program across the country filled in emergency medicine. We've seen decreased amounts of physicians getting into pediatrics, getting into primary care, and it is a real issue for the future.
And I guess, can you speak to that shortage a little bit and how it affects the community at large when you don't, first of all, have enough people there, but how it affects those potential patients?
Yeah. So when there's not enough providers, then what you see is longer waits, decreased access to care. You can see delays in diagnosis, delays in preventive medicine. In the pediatric world, right, we tie primary care with vaccinations, with a lot of anticipatory guidance. And if there's not the opportunity for, youth to get those general checks, there can be long-term consequences. One example that I'll give you is in recent years, we were asked to, as the Department of Pediatrics, to help with sports physicals for some of the youth in Milwaukee Public Schools because they didn't have access to getting those sports physicals. The reason they weren't able to play sports was not because of grades, was not because of attendance. It was because they had a lack of access to primary care in those settings.
Dr. Mike Levis from the Medical College of Wisconsin is with us. One more question before we get into what you guys are doing for a group of students. Why is it important that people be able to see doctors of the same race? Is there any research or shows that there's a benefit that black people have access to a black doctor, Latinos can see a Latino doctor?
Yeah, so there's a lot of nuances in that, but there is some research. There is research out there that supports that having a provider that you're comfortable with, now whether that be same race, same gender, same age, similar background, same cultural background, that can lead to more trust in the patient and provider relationship. There's also really good evidence that shows that in terms of primary care, that trust really builds to having better outcomes in terms of health outcomes, right? Better blood pressure control, better adherence to medications, better follow-up rates. So I wouldn't say that the evidence is specific to race. It's more specific to having the options to pick and choose who your provider is so that you're very comfortable with the advice you're getting.
I would agree with that. As a female, 100%, as someone who searched specifically for a female doctor, I'm of a season in life where that became more important to me because there are things that are happening to my body that I could only trust another woman to speak to. So I understand that 110%. Can you tell us a little bit about the Health Equity Scholars Program?
Yeah, so the Health Equity Scholars Program is in its first year. We are actually interviewing for our second cohort. And basically it is an attempt to kind of change the paradigm of how we train students that are interested in working in underserved communities, working with underprivileged patients. And really, it's looking at breaking down barriers that the evidence has shown results in physicians deciding not to take particular jobs. The average medical student in the United States comes out with $250,000 to $300,000 worth of debt. And as even, the most dedicated student who wants to work in an underprivileged area, there is a difference in compensation. And as, physicians are starting their families, it has been found that paying off that debt can be a barrier to wanting to work in a, federally qualified health center, to wanting to work in an indigenous community. So what we have decided, or what we're piloting through support of the Advancing Healthier Wisconsin partnership and through support from the medical college, is really taking away that financial barrier, finding students that are really dedicated to wanting to work in the community in underserved areas, and giving them free tuition scholarships to really take that barrier off the table so that they don't have to narrow their scope of their dreams and who they want to care for in the future, or what specialty they want to get into. We want to take away that barrier that leads to individuals turning away from primary care or turning away from underserved populations.
So, Dr. Levis, do they have to commit to practicing in Wisconsin or in Milwaukee County, or they just be encouraged and with less debt, hopefully have a connection and decide to do that?
So it's a multifactorial approach. We don't have them sign a contract saying that they're going to practice in Wisconsin. However, the process for these students is that it's separate from their admissions to the medical college. We open this up to anyone who's already been admitted and offered a spot in our medical school. And then after that, there's a secondary application where the students have to write an essay basically on what their plans would be, what community, what their experience is, how much have they worked in underserved populations, how much have they worked in the public sector. And then what's really novel is they've already made it through a screening process with professors and physicians. Our decision, our group that decides on who the scholars will be, is made up of community members as well. So the community is investing in these students and telling these students, I want you to be my physician. Not only I believe that you are dedicated. And then we tailor the training so that every student has to do rotations in the community. Our students want to have the rotations in the city of Milwaukee, on the south side, on the north side. They want to be embedded. And then beyond that, we have a partnership with the Thrive On building on MLK and North. And our students are going to have the opportunity to live in the community and be like a learning community as well, living in the city, rotating in the city, having mentors that are community leaders across the city, and hopefully having their research projects in the city in partnership with community organizations. The idea is to have roots. The idea is to put those roots down before they have to make any financial decisions, make those ties, and then take away any pull away from where those roots are.
It's an important program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. Dr. Mike Levis is a professor there, and he's also the co-director of the Health Equity Scholars Program. Dr. Levis, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A fire in November destroys Oscar's Frozen Custard in Brookfield, but now the restaurant will rise from the ashes. The owners submit a proposal for a larger facility with a drive-through and ice cream shop at the same location.